This track is so much fun. Really puts it in the driver's hands, especially at the end.
I picked a really good time to get my life together and decide to win a race.
Yes! Oh my God!
I love this track. Feels good to finally get it done.
I was blocking as hard as I could to win that race.
I was more lucky than good today.
It's unbelievable. We definitely had something to prove this weekend.
They just kicked their ass, baby. Let's go!
An emotional win for Joe Nemechek.
This one's for John. I know he was watching over us.
Kyle Busch wins the race and the 2009 championship.
The first ever international champion in NASCAR.
The top three are in the wall. Dale Jarrett coming to the line.
We won on an oval. Woo!
When I checked into the Allmendinger Transporter earlier today, the team was watching a Truck Series race here. The driver already locked into the championship 4. He was running the wall, running up front, having fun, and he won the race. Crew Chief Alex Jantz said, that can be us today. The pressure's off after the Vegas win. We're going to keep the good times rolling, Kim.
Well, Dave, even though Jesse Love only sits -13 in the standings, he and crew chief Danny Stockman told me they think it's going to take a win to advance to the championship 4. They're still in striking distance, though, so they can't ignore stage points. They're going to have to balance. It's a tough situation for this 2 team, Marty.
DJ, should Jesse Love's teammate Austin Hill be a little concerned about their lack of speed last week at Las Vegas?
100%. They're going to have that, get some stage points, and a great finish here today.
Let's get the engines fired here in Homestead.
Homestead-Miami Speedway, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Founder of FUBU, Shark Tank star, and investor in Tentacle, Damon John.
Drivers, start your engine.
Another seat to championship Saturday is up for grabs. Who wants to race for a NASCAR title? The green flag in Miami is next here on CW Sports.
Homestead-Miami Speedway in South Florida. This track, built in 1995, is a 1.5-mile oval with progressively banked turns that range from 18 degrees on the bottom to 20 degrees around the wall. This banking encourages multiple racing lines all the way around the corner. However, as the track gets rubber laid down, this line will shift towards the top of the track to keep momentum up. Drivers will ride the cushion, leveraging their cars up against the wall without hitting it, balancing the car on a pocket of air that's forced between the car and the wall. This cushion allows the cars to run the highest possible line with the most banking for momentum purposes. However, one slip of the tires and you can end your day by hitting the wall. It's a fine balance that's fun to watch as the race progresses. We caught up with Austin Hill earlier this season to discuss Homestead. Here's what he had to say.
Homestead's multi-groove, but it's one of those racetracks that when you start to lose lap time, you have to get up on the wall. Like that, you're either got to be on the wall and like where that buffer is of like putting your car right where that pocket of air is on the wall, or you got to run like one, maybe half a lane down. I've been able to make it work kind of running a half a lane down. A lot of it depends on if your car's loose versus if it's, you know, if it's real tight. There's just different things that you can do when you're running the wall. You know, you can run right up against it, or you can run a little bit off of it and make really good lap time. You know, you go with the mindset there of like it's going to be a long run race, and there's not going to be a ton of cautions, but in the back of your mind, you kind of have to have that middle ground of like you want to have a good short run car, but then you want to have a really good long run car, and it's really hard on the crew chiefs to figure that out.
Last year, Sam Mayer led the final 30 laps. On the last lap, Mayer brushed the wall exiting turn 4, but was able to hold off Riley Herbst and take the win, locking in his playoff spot in the championship 4. Can a playoff driver lock themselves into the championship at Phoenix with a win today? Let's find out.
better.
7 drivers remain to fight it out for the final 3 open spots on Championship Saturday in Phoenix, coming up in just 2 weeks here on the CW. And the next step in that journey comes right here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, a racetrack that is all about risk versus reward, because speed here is created right against the wall. The difference in running fast lap times at this track can literally be 2 inches. So the good news is you can find extra speed. The bad news is if you get too close, you can easily make contact with the wall, and a season's worth of work can come to a very quick and unexpected end. So Dave Burns, how much are you willing to risk to give yourself a shot to win the championship?
Marty, the race can be won and lost on pit road. Every crew member knows that, including Chase Masterson, the front tire changer for Austin Hill. He's a 19-year veteran, and he helps train this entire crew, which is one of the fastest on pit road all day long. He lives by a simple phrase: guys, the hardest part of our job today is taking a tire off and putting it back on. A simple phrase, but if they do that well all day long, they can help Austin Hill perhaps get to the championship for Kim.
Well, Dave, I think we can all agree there is a vibe at Homestead-Miami Speedway that you cannot find anywhere else. What other racetrack has a 20,000 square foot beach in the infield? And while teams want to relax and enjoy the atmosphere, this race is going to be anything but relaxing for those playoff teams. That's because it demands so much from the teams and drivers. Your performance here can make or break your shot at a championship. And guys, I don't know that I'm going to make it back to pit road. I might just be staying here.
University of Miami grad Kim enjoying the beach here. It's playoffs. They're continuing from South Florida. It's a warm, late October afternoon, and a path to the championship 4 is in front of 7 drivers. It's NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the booth alongside our crew chief, Steve Letarte, the mayor, Jeff Burton, Rick Allen with you. Now, Jeff, I mentioned 7 drivers. A.J. Allmendinger, he's already won, so he is locked into that championship 4. Now, do those 7 drivers, are they worried about points, or are they worried about winning?
Yes. It depends on the situation that you're in. You know, some guys need to run this race and try not to make a big mistake. Others, Sammy Smith in particular, he needs to go win this race. But how do you do it? You have to be there at the end. You have to have track position. This is one of the more challenging races of the year, no matter which of those positions you're in.
The question is opportunity. How do you get those points, or how do you get that track position? Jeff talks about the challenges ahead, but you don't know what kind of test is going to come. Are we going to see long green flag runs? Are we going to see those crazy 2 and 3 wide restarts? We do know one thing. This is a racetrack that eats the tires away. So the car drives one way on the first lap, different on lap 10, different on lap 20. The drivers will have to adjust.
They will move all over the racetrack. Right now they're on pit road, checking out their pit road speed. As we take a look at the starting grid, Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed are going to start up front. A couple Toyotas there. As you look a little further back, we'll go back to like row 6 and 7. We have got a lot of youth here. 18-year-old William Sawalich making his first career Xfinity Series start. Connor Zillich, also 18 years old. They're in row 7.
Yeah, you see a few cars going to the back because of adjustments. One being SVG. First time here, said he loves the track already, loves running up against the wall. Would be interested to follow up and see if he loves it as much in 200 laps.
All right, Marty, what about Justin Allgaier? Right now has the most points of those above the cut line.
Well, Rick Allgaier will tell you Miami has never been his racetrack. He's the first to admit that, but last year he challenged his team to come up with a completely different setup thought process, and the result of that, had it not been for an issue on pit road, Allgaier had a real shot to win the race. Today, he feels like they have similar speed, but as Jim Pullman, his crew chief, pointed out to me, we don't need a winning day. We just need a solid day, and that should put us maybe one step closer to a championship, Dave.
Marty, the same weekend, Cole Custer ran his first and only NASCAR truck race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. He also ran his 5th ever Xfinity Series race. That was 2016, and he fell in love with this place. And you knew it because the next year he came back here, led 90% of the laps, and scored his first win in the series. So now the reigning champion has a chance to lock himself into this year's championship 4 with a traditional Cole Custer-like performance at this track. He starts 4th, Kim.
Well, after multiple issues last weekend in Vegas, Sammy Smith was relegated to a 32nd place finish, which puts him minus 53 in the points. That is the last spot. This team now considers themselves a must win. And while today would be nice winning, the team told me they think their real shot at winning is next weekend at Martinsville to get into the championship 4. So to get the goal for the 8 team is to put together a solid race, make no mistakes, and just keep themselves in contention all afternoon.
Already looking forward is that 8 team, knowing that Martinsville is coming up. Let's listen into the 21 radio. That's RCR driver Austin Hill, and this is RC.
Yes, sir, I got you. Hey, buddy, have a good day. These guys, take care of them in the pits, guys. Show us what you made of it and go win this thing. Cheers, RC.
Richard Childress always at the track giving the positive feedback to the team, and they have one of the best, if not the best, pit crew on pit road.
I think that's the strength of the 21. Statistically, they are the best. They kind of avoid mistakes, just have the raw speed. You know, at times it's about not losing spots, but at times, certain weeks, you just don't have the car. And if you can go 10th to 7th or 8th to 6th, they might only sound like 2 or 3 spots, but it completely can change on the restart.
And Steve, 3 to 4 times on pit road during this race?
So we definitely will pit at the end of each stage, and then you need at least 1 pit stop in the final stage. Now they have 4 sets of tires, so you really kind of have to save that last set, because a caution in the closing laps, you really want brand new Goodyears to put on.
We talk about slipping and sliding in old tires, but not right now on these restarts. You got to push, you got to make something happen. You don't have to run right against the wall. You can run anywhere you want.
Playoffs continuing. Now it's from Homestead-Miami Speedway up front. Chandler Smith into the gas quickly. Sheldon Creed. And Sheldon Creed pulling ahead as they go into turn number 1. Creed in the 18 on the bottom of the racetrack. Can he take the lead away coming off of 2? Not able to clear. Chandler Smith in that 81 on the outside as they dive into 3. 3 wide back for the 7th position, and here comes Eric Almirola in the 20. Joe Gibbs Racing flexing their muscles early here in Homestead-Miami.
You mentioned that 20, that orange hooded 20 right there. Cut his teammate a break, Jeff, right there. I think he could have got to the outside of Sheldon Creed. Instead, he kind of checked up, let the 18 in line, and it works well as now the Toyotas will run 1, 2, 3 at the front of the field.
You want to be aggressive, but also being smart. Way too early to get damaged.
Almirola all the way along the white line through 3 and 4, and just as quickly as we see him on the white line, see the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger running right up against the fence. Cole Custer, we've talked about his successes in the double zero. Was able to win here back in 2017. Has led more laps here than the entire field combined.
Now, this is a part of the race where you've kind of gotten your position after the restart and the initial start of the race. Now you want to push hard, Steve, but you got to be careful not to burn these tires off.
Yeah, this set of tires is going to be on for the whole first stage, 45 laps, which would be longer than any of these teams ran in practice. Oh, is the really close call between Almirola and Creed. Gets Creed up the racetrack. Got in there, got his teammate Arrow loose. Now the double zero chooses to push the 18 down the backstretch.
Almirola all the way to the bottom of the racetrack again, and it's looking like 3 wide. As Almirola is going to surge ahead, Cole Custer is going to try to come beneath that 18 of Creed. He can't make that pass. You'll see the blue line underneath, or purple line underneath the names of the drivers that are in the playoffs. And again, the green line under Allmendinger means he has already advanced to the championship 4. You'll be able to keep track of where those playoff drivers are running.
Steve caught it to 20, right to the rear bumper. A little bit of contact there with Creed.
What a great shot there of the 18 and 20 and how close they're running. Here's Allmendinger and Creed on the outside, a little bit loose as he exited 4.
The 18 car looks loose to me. He just cannot carry the speed on corner entry. And that right there, that pass that you just saw the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger made, that is the place to pass getting into turn 1. You can drive in the corner, kind of overdrive the corner a little bit and easily slide up in front of someone.
So we're going to call it the slide job still? Sure. Keep doing it?
Call it.
Okay. As Allgaier now is running the tracks of the 1 of Sam Mayer, those 2 junior motorsports cars, running right up against the fence. Jesse Love diving to the bottom of the racetrack. And he's up 6 positions already.
RCR teammates at the bottom of the racetrack. Junior Motorsports teammates at the top. On board with the Verizon on board with Jesse Love. That's his teammate on the right side of your screen, that blue and white 21 of Austin Hill. The 7 of Allgaier tries to get to that right rear quarter panel of the 2, unable to get there.
And he puts the bumper to him, lets him know he's back there. He won't dive below as we see Love going all the way to the white line again.
This is the 8th lap of Jesse Love's career here at this racetrack, so a lot of learning going on. See, he runs the bottom, how the outside lane carries more speed down the straight. You can get by with that in 1 and 2 much more than you can in 3 and 4. Watch this right here off of 4. See this momentum the 7 has? A little side draft. Watch the 21 car. Now he could be able to overdrive the entry into 1. Roll the middle. Can he slide up in front of the 7 car?
Stay down bottom of the track until corner exit and just doesn't clear the 7. So Allgaier able to get back by the battle for second on the top of your screen as Cole Custer has now gone up in front of the 20. We'll see if he closes the door on Eric Almirola. Going the wrong direction. Sheldon Creed in that 18 up against the wall. Creed, who was up running inside the top 3, now has fallen to 9th. Practicing qualifying yesterday for the Xfinity Series. Gave them a little bit of track time. As Austin Hill once again to the bottom of the racetrack. We'll see if he has enough room to clear the 7 as he comes off of turn 4. Does not clear it. Kim.
See Jesse Love running in the 7th position. One thing his crew chief Danny Stockman wanted to impart on him was patience. You absolutely need patience here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. He came on the radio just now, reminded Jesse, take care of your tires. We have to make it last for this entire stage.
Kim, you did make it back from the beach, right?
I did. I am back on pit road, unfortunately. I would have liked to have stayed on the beach.
Beach inside of Homestead-Miami Speedway, and right now Chandler Smith putting on a clinic here at the 1.5 miles. Are you looking for a cable news network which respects all Americans? Then you have a new home with News Nation. See why News Nation is America's fastest growing cable news network. To find News Nation on your screen, go to joininn.com. Still out front, Chandler Smith, a 1.3 second advantage over Cole Custer. Allmendinger has made his way up to third. He passed Almirola, and Sam Mayer is running in the 5th position.
A few laps ago, we saw Sheldon Creed really struggling. He and the 98 O'Reilly Herbst had a good battle. Sheldon got kind of in a bad spot aerodynamically, lost tons of downforce, and this is when he lost all the spots. 3 of 4 got by him in 1 lap. Since then, he's kind of neutralized, been able to sit there and run behind the 7 car, Kim.
Yeah, and for Sheldon Creed, he came on the radio a couple laps ago and said he thought he had a tire going down. That doesn't seem to be the case. He hasn't said anything yet. So, Jeff, what would he be feeling in the car that would give the illusion feel-wise to a possible tire issue?
Well, he's looked loose to me this entire run. And, you know, he could be so loose, and we've seen that a few times with this car early in the race where the back of the car just doesn't make enough grip. So already with a slick racetrack, if the back of the car doesn't have the grip that you're looking for, it can feel like you actually have a right rear tire going down.
I think at the end of the year, we start seeing the best out of all of these race car drivers, especially right now. The top 9 have all won a race this season. So think about the cream rising to the top. Chandler Smith all the way to Allgaier. Everyone has been to victory lane.
Steve, it's funny, we talk about everybody ripping the fence, and this 21 car, Austin Hill, that blue and white car, he's running either middle of the racetrack in 1 and 2 or the very bottom in 3 and 4, and he's making it work.
Obviously, he worked on that in practice because that's basically the laps he ran as well. And, you know, he's just self-admitted. He says he's not the best at the top. He feels like he can make his car work around the bottom. And so far, Dave proving us that he's correct with that.
Catfish, that's what the team calls it, catfish, a bottom feeder, and that's where Austin Hill likes to spend his time here at this track. But the storyline for this place is you've got to run the top. You've got to get up there, and there you see him migrating sort of midway up there. So he's passed 9 cars since the start of this race from where he started. The question then becomes, Jeff, can you win from down there? Will there be a time when Austin Hill absolutely has to rip the fence like the faster cars?
Well, so far he's been able to make it work, and I've been surprised that over here on the exit of 4 that he hasn't just gotten destroyed by the cars on the outside. But even right there with Riley Herbst, he really doesn't get beat that badly. And as this run goes on and the tires start wearing out more, that may be the case. But so far, Austin Hill's made it work.
All the way to the bottom of the racetrack, then drifts up in front of the 98 of Riley Herbst. He'll close the door on that position. So Hill up to the 6th spot. And Steve, tires so important at this racetrack. Already the fall off as far as a lap is 3 seconds.
Yeah, the grip just goes right away. I was with Jeff. I thought the 21 could get away with the bottom on fresher tires. I do think it's going to be a disadvantage as we get even older tires not running the top. But the one advantage is if the sun starts to set and the track starts to cool, the bottom and the middle normally grip up a little bit as well. Great shot right here on board with Jesse Love back to that 7 of Allgaier.
Marty, how about more on the 7?
Rick, we're working lap 23. I think about 22 of those, Justin Allgaier and Jesse Love have spent pretty much glued to each other, racing very hard here for the 9th position and the 8th position as Love gets past Riley Herbst. But a moment ago, they reminded Justin Allgaier, hey, take it easy. We're way early in this race. Listen to the radio.
It's too early. Be patient. Still got a long way to go here. First 15 is done. Now you're in the 2nd. Do not get baited into that. Wait a little longer. We got time.
So, see, they keep telling Justin on the radio, because you're running the high line, that will be beneficial to you later in the run. Why is that the case?
Well, I believe running the middle or the bottom it's just tighter radius. You're asking more out of your tires. I think running the top is a little easier on your equipment. Everything up top is just, you know, easier on the car. I think it's more stressful on the driver because he's an inch or 2 off that wall. But the car itself, I think it's under less physical load and it's easier on the tire wear when you're on the top.
Saw Jesse Love in this 2 car. Watch what he does to Riley Herbst. He just simply overdrives the corner, slides up the racetrack, and now he stops in front of Riley Herbst. Riley's able to turn underneath of him, but Jesse's able to keep enough pace down the front straightaway and a push from Allgaier. And this pass actually cost the 98 2 spots. That's an example right there. The 98 of Herbst tried to cross the 2 over. He didn't make it work, and because of that effort to make a pass, he actually lost another spot. You have to recognize, Riley's very good at this racetrack, but you have to recognize what your car can and cannot do so you don't make that mistake.
A couple Chevrolets against a Ford there. Here you have a Toyota against a Ford. The Toyota of Chandler Smith has been out front for every lap, all 25 of them. But here comes Cole Custer in that 00. We call this a little bit of the longer run car, or maybe longer run setup for Cole Custer?
Well, I think Cole Custer's worked himself through traffic, and what I like about this 00 is he can run wherever the 81 doesn't. You know, so if the 81 runs right on the wall, the 00 runs about a lane lower. Right here, the 81 and the 00 kind of mirroring each other. Let's see what they do down here in 3 and 4.
Again, Cole Custer won the championship a year ago. He is one of 4 drivers that are still a part of this championship run, the playoff run, the round of 8. One of 4 that have been in the championship Ford before.
So watch this run down the front straightaway. Cole Custer got it right against the wall on corner exit. And look how much that helped him gain on the front straightaway.
Lead down to 0.3 of a second.
And now the art of the pass here in Miami is patience. You can't just get the position in a lap like maybe where Las Vegas you can really attack. I think here you need to just kind of find your way inch by inch. There you go. Now the 81 runs all the way up. The 00 moves down a line. Now he's not even looking to pass him right here, but now if he pulls back up behind the 81, he's gained a car length from the last lap.
But you saw the driver of the 81, Chandler Smith. He saw in the last trip through 3 and 4, the 00 run the wall on corner exit. He said wasn't going to give it to him again, so he went to the wall and made Cole Custer change his line. The 00 is faster, but Chandler Smith is taking away his line from him.
Will he try the slide job here as they go into turn 3?
I think he's just going to take whichever lane the 81 doesn't. There you go. 1 lane down. The 81 has no choice. I think the 00 might be able to get on the quarter panel here on exit and stall the 81. No, not quite. No. And Allmendinger's back there going, great, you guys get side by side for a whole set of corners.
How about this team? I mean, the 16 car, for the majority of this year, they didn't show near the speed you think they would need to be a championship contender, but the last 2 weeks, they are fast.
And during Countdown Live, we heard A.J. Allmendinger say that they didn't have the setup in the car that they wanted yesterday in practice and qualifying, so they made quite a bit of changes. He didn't know what he was going to have. Well, he's got a fast race car, and so does Cole Custer, looking to the inside now of Smith.
Yeah, Custer trying to take advantage of that lap car.
Will he use him as a pick?
Yeah, so aerodynamically, the 81 was wanting to run the line that lap car was. He wasn't able to.
Mason Maggio about to go a lap down in the 45.
Oh, this is going to be a problem for the 81 right here. The 00 is able to clear that lap car and get to the right side of the 81. I think that is the spot the 00 needs to be. This pass should happen on the front stretch.
For the lead, does he get there before the start-finish line? That one was close. And Cole Custer was leading that lap. And now he's going to go by the 81 on that high line.
Yep, that should do it. The 00 should have the momentum off the top.
And a clear racetrack in front of him. Cole Custer leading at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Chandler Smith falls to second. Shift into high gear with your chance to win an all-access Daytona 500 experience. All you have to do is scan that QR code, or you can visit NASCAR.com/racking-up-the-wins to enter right now.
I mean, just check this out.
Yeah. Look at the back end of these cars, how close some of these drivers are.
I mean, think about when you're going down the interstate, you enter construction, and they put you between the Jersey barriers, just how much more 65 miles an hour feels uncomfortable with a barrier that is 6, 8, 10 feet away.
Yeah.
These drivers are going to go over 160 miles an hour into these corners, right up against and at times touching. That one might have been touching at one point.
Race car drivers are a national treasure.
From the race car driver. Yeah, there's the Verizon onboard.
What did he try to sell us?
He did. He did a fine job. Jesse Love with the Verizon onboard showing us what it feels like from the hood of, or the top of this car.
The roof, Rick. We're on the roof.
Called the roof. Top of, roof, hood. There's a lot of parts to this car we can talk about. Almirola closing in on the 16 of Allmendinger.
It shows you how different the different parts of the run can be, right? The 20 car kind of fading early in the run. Now he might have the fastest car on the racetrack.
Oh, and traffic is going to jam this all up.
Tight. 7 laps to go. Cole Custer in the 0-0 trying to hold on. Stage points at the end of each stage, from 10 points for winning the stage all the way down to 1 point for finishing 10th. Those are available. And we know for a fact that one of the championship 4, at least one, will get in based on points.
How about Almirola in that 20? He just made that pass look easy.
Sammy Smith in the 8s. We talk about how close you get to the wall. Well, sometimes you get into the wall.
Just working hard to have that high entry, to be up against the wall as quickly as you can. No damage there. Just a little kiss.
Look at this mess back here. You have the 16, the first car, that white car. There's the 1 of Sam Mayer trying to get out from behind that yellow car. 3 wide at times. All for position. That 18 of Sheldon Creed, so loose early, couldn't go anywhere. Now Creed trying to gain positions back, as now we see the 8 coming to pit road. We showed that contact, Jeff.
Sammy Smith on pit road, Kim.
Yeah, right front was going down for Sammy Smith, so it means that they had to come down and change those tires. Not a good day so far for this 8 team, as again, they'll change the tire after flat.
Yeah, it's just, now they'll go laps down. Just a big battle from behind. And Almirola on top, down to the white line, drives right by the 0-0 of Custer.
How about that 21 car? He is right there.
Austin Hill has thrown his name in the hat here as well. Under 4 laps to go, and here comes the 0-0. Trying to take the lead back, and now it's 3 wide for the lead.
Like this is going to work well for Austin Hill. The guys on the top are going to get bottled up right here. Custer slow on corner exit.
Don't look now. 3 wide for the lead. Sheldon Creed trying to join as well.
3 abreast as they go into turn 1. Hill on the bottom of the racetrack has to check up a little bit as he got loose. And now back into the gas. We'll see if the 21 can stay just in front of the 0-0. He does. He takes that spot. Now he'll set his sights on Eric Almirola. To the bottom of the racetrack. Almirola goes there as well.
So Eric goes down there to block the 21 right to him. They're both going to be slow on corner exit. Can Custer take advantage of it?
Coming up on 2 laps to go. Little momentum for Custer as he gets to the inside of the 20. Hill now leading in Miami.
And committing to that middle of the racetrack.
Down the back stretch, we'll see if the 20 or the 00 have anything for Austin Hill now that he's out front. Sheldon Creed, after dropping all the way back, almost outside the top 10, has fought his way back up inside the top 5.
The 21, though, has found his own way around here, and it has worked. There'll be a lot of head scratching if the 21 can run off the wall. Everybody talks how dominant the top of the racetrack is. Austin Hill doesn't want to hear it. Does his own thing. Andy Street, crew chief, the gentleman in the white and blue hat on the bottom of your screen looking on. An impressive first stage from the 21 if he can finish it off.
He came in -8 points to the cut. If he get this done, he's going to get 10 points right here in this stage.
10 points for winning stage 1. And Austin Hill with a 1 second advantage over second place Almirola, but Hill wins stage 1 in Miami.
Let's go, baby.
And you hear the driver excited about it already. 5th stage win this season. And the first time that he has been able to win a stage here in Miami. Quickly through stage 1 in this second race of the round of 8. And it's Austin Hill who wins stage 1. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Credit One Bank, NASCAR American Express card, and by Toyota. Let's go places. Wonder if Kim's on that boat. Seen her experiencing some of the fun here in South Florida, the Miami area. As stage 1 is complete, and now we see the cars making their way onto Progressive Pit Road. And we'll go to Dave.
From 16th starting position, Austin Hill wins stage 1 of the 21 car. He said, I can be picky, but I'd say don't change the thing on this car. Meanwhile, Cole Custer, too tight to fire off, too loose at the end, Marty.
Then we focused a lot on Justin Allgaier, but man, they were so fast at the end of that run. He said he would like for it to come in a little bit quicker and find that speed earlier in the run, just needs more overall grip. Sam Mayer said he's too free on entry, and in the middle of the corner, just can't turn the wheel like he would like to turn it. We'll see who wins the race off pit road. How about that 21 crew holding serve here on pit road, Rick?
As we see the race off of Progressive Pit Road, and RC talked about it, those crews going to work as we see some of the skyline here of Miami. It, by the way, is the third largest skyline with over 300 high rises here in Miami. Every match, every move, every moment. WWE NXT delivers excitement every Tuesday. And this week is no different with two epic championship battles on the line. It's NXT Tuesday at 8, 7 Central only on the CW. And you see the paint scheme for Cole Custer. He was hanging out with Hank and Tank. And not only in the parking lot, but he was able to experience a little of that NXT fun and got right in the middle of it. Now I want you to pay attention to this helmet because it comes on, well, it gets involved. So yeah, he's going to celebrate a little, but watch out. Don't come anywhere near him. Oh, Cole tried to use the helmet there. He does it again here. Oh. And then, well, Lola Vice has him dancing out in the middle of the stage. So how about Cole Custer?
I think a Burton Custer match needs to be on the horizon.
Ooh.
No doubt.
I got a helmet.
I don't think you're going to need the helmet. Kim.
We talked about Sammy Smith having to pit under green before the end of that stage because he thought he had a right front tire going down. Well, they took the tire off. Take a look at it. It's actually heavily corded. And here's what the team told Sammy after they saw the cording on the tire.
So you didn't hit it, it was just corded, so we're just going to take care of the right front as much as we can.
I mean, I was taking care of everything I had. Like, that's the problem. Like, I couldn't go any.
So you just heard Sammy saying, I was doing everything I can. We'll see if they continue to have right front issues, Dave.
Stage winner Austin Hill, his 4 tires looked excellent, and they talked about this on the radio.
That's the most fun I've had in a while. That was cool. Yeah, same here. Keep this thing up here all day. Yeah, copy.
Remind him tire management if he gets out there and take care of the tires.
Team owner Richard Childress is watching. He said they may look good, but remember, tire management, some are having issues. There's RC watching from turn 4.
Talk about tire management. We saw the right front off the 8 so bad that it forced them to pit. Well, this is the right front off the 00. What happens is it wears through and it finally catches a thread and then it almost unwinds like a ball of yarn. That's why it looks like it's been cut all the way around. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. That was 45 laps. This stage will be a little shorter with these cautions.
And the 8 did get back in the lead lap right here, but he has quite a few laps more on his tires than these guys do.
Stage 2 about to get underway as Austin Hill won stage 1 and won the race off pit road. Eric Almirola on his outside, 4 and 5 wide behind them as they fanned out going into 1. Sam Mayer in the 1 with a big run there, got to the back bumper of that 98 of Riley Herbst, but Mayer run in the middle of the racetrack now, trying to gain as many positions as he can on these fresh Goodyears.
Austin Hill loves the bottom of the racetrack on old tires, so you know he's going to love it on new tires. It's the fastest way around the racetrack, more grip, shorter way around.
You know, on these restarts, Jeff, you can instantly see how you drive the bottom versus the top differently. You kind of drive in very deep and aggressively to the bottom. Up top, you have to check up a little bit.
Almirola in the 20, 2 wins already in 2024 after retiring from full cup racing from a year ago.
How about back there, the first car out of line, Ryan Sieg in the 28. Big part of the conversation last week. I thought he was going to break through and get that win. It wasn't meant to be. He was racing with Allmendinger late. Here he is right on the left rear of the 18. Now remember how good Creed was at the end of the first stage. So bad to start. So as a crew chief, you have to give up some of that long run by securing the car up so you don't lose the positions early. That's what the 18 looks like. So even if he doesn't go forward here right away, if he could just protect, I say that in the back of the car wiggles around. If he could just protect, he'll be closer at the end to attack.
Look at this, Austin Hill in the middle of the racetrack, giving Almirola the bottom.
Drifting up the racetrack at 21, and they exit turn 2, and about 2 car lengths separating the 20 and 21.
Yeah, this is interesting. Austin Hill with the lead, running a different part of the racetrack than he used to get the lead.
I wonder if it's just defensive, Jeff, if he thinks that Almirola needs that middle, so he just runs the middle, forcing the 20 to run the bottom, as we see some zigging and zagging out of that 2 of Jesse Love.
And Chandler Smith right behind him, trying to get by the 7 of Allgaier. And Smith will complete that pass. Allgaier will fall back a spot. Allgaier re-signing with Junior Motorsports for a multi-year deal, bringing Rick Brandt along with him. And Brandt has been a part of Allgaier's career since he's been behind the wheel of anything in the NASCAR world.
Loves racing. It's always fun to see Rick at the racetrack. Brings his customers, his family. Always has such a big footprint here. 81 of Chandler Smith. There you go. That was a nice move. Kind of turned to the left of the 18. Here's Jesse Love again with this unorthodox draft style serpentine down the backstretch.
Yeah, from top to bottom, back to top. As Love now holding on to the 6th spot, Kim.
Yeah, and you see him trying to use the bottom. They had told him at the end of stage 1 that his teammate Austin Hill drove to the lead using the bottom, and Jesse told his team, I'm going to need to be freed up if I'm going to use the bottom. He did say, we're not going to win the race running this thing on the top, he felt like. So they went 2 up on the track car, made an air pressure adjustment to try and free him up and be able to use that bottom just a little bit more throughout this stage.
Cole Custer able to use a short run setup again. Being able to pass that 20 of Almirola to get second. Let's see if he's got enough to get up there and challenge Austin Hill for the lead. Custer's led 11 laps in this race today. Chandler Smith the most at 30 laps led. Austin Hill's been up front for 17 and counting. Here comes Parker Kligerman in that 48. He works the bottom of the racetrack, and he'll get by Riley. But no space to go. Well, he does slide in there behind the 7 and just in front of the 98.
This is just not the Homestead racetrack I remember. I mean, it seems like the top had been dominant the last 3 or 4 years, and the traffic itself, to be honest, was kind of spread out. It's doing anything but here today.
Surprised because the tire hasn't changed. They've been coming here on this tire for a couple of years now.
What I've learned about this garage is, you know, people think it takes a rule change or a tire change, but the garage never stops working. You know, every time you go back to the racetrack, same rules, you'll qualify faster or different cars will be better. So that's what makes the sport so interesting and why you have to tune in each week, because it is nearly impossible to predict not only who's going to be good, but what the racing will look like.
Engineers continue to find ways to make the cars go faster. And right now, Cole Custer wants to find something to chase down that 21 of Austin Hill. Hill, stage 1 winner, out in front and continuing to lead laps. 98 of Riley Herbst on pit road now, has an issue. He was running 10th when he hit the fence.
Yeah, Goodyear's missing off the right side. You see no lettering, very dark, damage on the quarter panel. He'll bring it to the attention of the crew.
While he's on pit road, the battle for the lead continuing here between the 21 and the 00. Marty, what's going on with the 98?
This is the risk versus reward, Jeff, that you talked about in the pre-race show. Yeah, there's speed right up against the wall, but the risk is you can make contact with the wall. We saw it with Sammy Smith in stage 1. We see it with Riley Herbst here in stage 2.
Riley Herbst was a part of the playoffs, was eliminated after the round of 12. One of the 4 drivers that were below the cut line.
Riley's always been really fast at this racetrack. He's going to need some help to get back in this race.
Creed trying to get by Jesse Love now. Creed in that 18 riding right up against the wall.
And Jesse Love doing the same thing teammate Austin Hill did early in the race to get the lead, just running the bottom.
Creed has worked his way up to the 7th spot as he'll try to take the 6th position away from teammate Chandler Smith.
You saw right what happened right there was Jesse Love drove to the middle of the racetrack. Lap traffic was where he really wanted to be. Lap traffic was on the bottom. That put Jesse in the middle of the racetrack. Typically there's not much grip over there. Actually lost 2 spots in that exchange.
That puts Allgaier up to 8th.
It was an aggressive move by the 18 of Creed. Kind of slid right across the bumper of the 81. The 81 turned below him. Now the 81 will stay on the bottom. This should give the 18. Oh, the 7 in the wall behind the 18. Pretty heavy contact with the right front. You could touch with the right rear, Jeff, but when it pulls the right front in, yeah, got it harder. I agree.
And as quickly as Allgaier comes in here with a 32-point advantage. Now he's only 23 points above the cut line, and that is with the 21 of Austin Hill up there leading this race. Here's the contact with the wall.
So see, it starts with the right rear. That didn't bother me, but then when it pulled the right front in and the smoke really come off the right side, Jeff, that's when I get concerned.
Yeah, sometimes when you get in the wall, it actually like pulls the car into the wall. You can't get it away from it. In front of it, look at the battle of teammates. Those guys almost wrecked each other on the front straightaway.
Those Creed and Chandler Smith as the 7 of Allgaier. Well, it hadn't slowed him down. He'll clear Jesse Love, and Allgaier making the wall work.
This is fun racing. This is, as a driver, one of the more fun racetracks that you go to because your car is sliding all over the racetrack. You have to be willing to move around, try different things. And that's what you see happening here. A car will take off and all of a sudden start running well. It's not just the car got better, it's that the driver found a way to utilize the strengths of the car.
We have to remind you, when cars are running right up against the fence like we see here at Miami, you've got the Ross Chastain rule, which you can't actually use the wall to run faster around a racetrack, where he did at Martinsville.
You can't like touch it and bounce, and you can even ride along a little bit, not on purpose, but you can't just pin it wide open. Which, what a day. I mean, I still, even watching replays,
Marty.
Rick, just want to clean up what happened with Riley Herbst. The right front tire actually had a cut in it. It had a slow leak in the right front. That's why Riley Herbst got into the wall a moment ago. Right now, the first car 1 lap down, Dave.
Marty, quiz time. Who has the Xfinity Series fastest lap? It is Almirola. Eric Almirola running in 4th position in the 20 car. Fastest today in a single lap of any car on track. And remember why the 40-year-old was hired, as he's getting pressure right now from Ryan Sieg. He was hired both to win in this Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, which he's done twice this year, but also to mentor young drivers. He's just recently removed from his Cup Series career. He knows a lot, and he's very good at explaining it. He gets a little wiggle right there. One of those drivers is a driver who's making his debut today in the field. That is William Sawalich, 18 years old and running the number 19 dream car for Joe Gibbs Racing. You're on board with him now. Since the restart, up 9 positions. He's a 2-time ARCA East Series champion. He's going to be good in this world, and Eric Almirola is part of the reason why he'll be tutored and mentored to become a champion here.
Yeah, Toyota Onboard giving us a great shot of this young driver. And you see the 13 ARCA wins, 9 of them this season. That's why Joe Gibbs Racing decided we need to lock this kid up, and so he will run full-time in 2025 for JGR.
A lot of talent with that young driver. They're excited about his future.
William Sawalich has made his way up to 10th. We were talking about Connor Zilic. He is running 11th right now, but it's Austin Hill out in front in Miami. Wednesday on Inside the NFL, our pros take a look at the upcoming games, plus Coach Belichick's game plan and Chad Johnson's predictions you don't want to miss. Inside the NFL, it's Wednesday at 9/8 Central on the CW. Sammy Smith again had a little bit of issue with the tire having an issue on the right front where we saw it kind of unraveling. Steve, you talked about the yarn. Listen into the radio, see if it's happening again.
Just trying to save it. I think it's starting to court again.
It is unbelievable because we set up around running the forward and we haven't done it. That's how you save tire here.
So is he calling the driver out, saying the driver's not running where he's supposed to be running?
Well, there's conversation. The second half sounds like it's on the second channel. I can't believe that was a communication to the driver, but frustration by the team because they feel like there's something that the driver should be doing different. From here, it doesn't look crazy or anything different. You know, I mean, he's a lane off the wall, but to be honest, Jeff, they're all over this racetrack. I mean, the 21 is leading the race. I haven't really seen him run the wall yet. There are probably more cars at the top than at the bottom, but I think this is the most option I've ever seen here in Miami.
Yeah, they are.
It's like, can only go the mercy of the tire. I'm going to blow right front again.
Well, the frustration is because the 8 car is 28th and the leader is, you know, what, 5-6 seconds behind him, and that's the pressure, right? So this is the 8 going into turn 3, the leader, the 21, middle of the backstretch. You can just feel the pressure building.
7 laps to go, so the 8 car just needs to hang on here, try to stay in the lead lap. You never know what can happen.
Jeff, you've said that if you feel like something might be going wrong with the right front, don't you normally want to be a little closer to the wall so that you don't turn right and into the wall of hard contact?
Yeah, I would like to be right up against it, so if we did have a problem, we don't go as far. Richard Petty said that years ago, but especially at this racetrack.
2 out right rear.
Leland Honeyman Jr. here in the 42.
Yes, you're coming to us.
It's an engine issue for Leland Honeyman Jr. Got to see that smoke coming out of the back of the 42. They're coming to pit road this time, Rick.
One of the 19-year-olds in the field, and you see he has also had contact with the wall. Coming up on 5 laps remaining in stage 2. The fewest cautions for this race. We know that we're not going to get that because of the stage breaks, but fewest cautions for the race here for the Xfinity Series at Homestead-Miami is 1. Dave.
Look at A.J. Allmendinger go, and he wasn't really happy with the balance of his race car, but it's better than Cole Custer's, who just lost second place to Allmendinger. Custer complaining after 30 laps, I just lose all grip. So the 00 going the wrong way, the 16 going the right way at the end of the stage.
Well, let's not forget, of cars that damaged tires, the 00 had some right front wear as well. So with 4 to go, we'll keep a good eye on this 00 to make sure it's not something more than just losing overall grip. It's like now we have a car spinning down the backstretch.
Yep, there goes the 92 of Nick Lights. He will bring the caution out with 4 laps to go. More than likely, this will end the stage.
Let's get here.
Well, there were some drivers that loved to see that caution. You just mentioned Cole Custer damaged that tire late in the first run. The 8 of Sammy Smith, that keeps him in the lead lap.
Riley Herbst was the first car scored a lap down, and so more than likely he will be the free pass recipient. Coming off of 2, it was the 92 of Nick Lights that gets sideways here. Take another look.
Nick's under another car, trying to make that pass, just trying to go to the throttle. The back end just doesn't stick for him. Fortunately, no contact. Doesn't hit anything. Does a nice job of not overcorrecting the car. Drivers sometimes tend to turn the wheel right, and the front tires catch, and the car will turn head on into the wall. Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's all the damage now as the right front has come apart and is just tearing that right front fender apart. That will end the stage. It's only the second time Austin Hill has swept stages in a race. Talladega back in 22, and he finished 14th in that race. And how about A.J. Allmendinger, who's running second right now and finishes second, as, again, under caution, this stage will end. CW Sports coverage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series is brought to you by Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Stage 2 is about to be completed as they will come to the green and white checkered flag, and it will be Austin Hill who has swept Stage 1 and Stage 2. Riley Herbst, when the caution came out, was the first car scored a lap down, and so Riley will get the free pass.
What a day for this team so far. They have maximized stage point opportunities.
Hill came in 8 points below the cut line. Obviously gaining 20 points through the stages, a big boost for this team. And that golden ticket, if you're able to win at either here or Martinsville, you are automatically in the championship 4 if you're one of the round of 8. Marty.
Rick Sanmair finished 14th here in Stage 2. What's going on with the one car? Listen in.
No more saving here. We just don't have to do it modularly because we got 15 seconds behind.
Yeah, man. And half of that was probably me trying to go hard too. I don't freaking understand it, man. I was going quarter throttle.
And Jeff, that's the winner of the race in Miami last year. Man, this place is just so difficult. As you mentioned earlier, you can find speed in certain places. It's also easy to get in trouble, and sometimes maybe too easy as well to be too patient.
Well, it's a very difficult balance, but when you're giving up 15 seconds, you're going to have to go. You heard Marty Lindley say, hey, no more saving. We just got to roll.
Lead lap cars making their way onto Progressive Pit Road for this the second time they have been onto pit road. Dave.
Stage sweeper Austin Hill said, I don't want to mess with it much at all, but crew chief Andy Street knows that the sun is going down this track will change. The adjustment may be as small as a piece of tape. As for Cole Custer, you see him there. He was not happy with his race car. He said it was the track will be tightening up, so they'll need to make an adjustment here as well, Marty.
We saw one wall contact, Dave, for Justin Allgaier with the wall in 3 and 4. There was a second one as well. He said it's just too tight in the center to get the car to turn, so they're going to undo part of the last adjustment. They also told Allgaier, we can't hit the wall anymore. Meanwhile, Chandler Smith said, I am way too free to run the top like I need to run the top, and Chandler Smith will lose a host of positions here on pit road.
Yeah, that race off of Progressive Pit Road sees Austin Hill's crew remain perfect. They do not lose any spots for the winner of Stage 1 and Stage 2. A big run for Allmendinger. He finished the stage in second. We'll see what he has for the final stage. Could Austin Hill join Allmendinger as a locked-in driver for the Championship 4? next Saturday. The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs are down to the final elimination race. We'll see which remaining drivers make their final push to qualify for the championship 4. It's NASCAR Xfinity Series playoff racing from Martinsville next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, only on the CW. A year ago, it was crazy. Bumping and banging. Teammates at the time, Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed. But it came down to Allgaier outdoing Creed right at the line.
If there's as many people mad this week as it was next week as it was last year, going to Phoenix, there's going to be a lot of tempers. That race was a physical affair. It was like a boxing match.
Points as they run. Again, Allmendinger locked in from his win a week ago. Austin Hill leading, so he's above the cut line. Allgaier, 28 points. Cole Custer, 23 points above. And the 8 all the way down. Sammy Smith, 102 points below the cut line right now, Kim.
Yeah, they knew it was a must-win coming in. Now it's definitely a must-win headed to Martinsville. I want to show you the tire this time being pulled off the right front of Sammy Smith. The first one we showed you, the cording was absolutely egregious. There is still a little bit of cording right here, but much better than the last time. Now, they did lose a lap trying to fix the camera on that to alleviate some of those issues. Sammy very upset in how slow that maintenance was done. Crew Chief Philip Bell on the radio saying, I know you're seeing red, Sammy, but you got to focus. We got to get back in the game, Dave.
Meanwhile, the tires that came off of A.J. Allmendinger's car look really good. And the driver says, the car's not bad. We just need a little bit more to make me feel comfortable. And, of course, comfortable is the word of the week for this group, having won at Vegas. They've already begun to prepare for Phoenix, 2 weeks away in the championship run. In fact, Crew Chief Alec Yance told me we've worked on Phoenix this week a lot. This car for Homestead, we really just kind of made sure everything was together and it didn't tip over. Other than that, we are running on house money right now. So we hope we can win today, but we're really just interested in Phoenix at this point.
Jeff, how about the choice of inside line for Austin Hill on the restart?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. He's been fast on the bottom of the racetrack all day. Shortest way around on the bottom. So, yeah, I like that pick.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, 105 to go. 45 has been a stretch on tires. Now you're going to ask these cars to go over 50. Even if you split it right in the middle. So this is going to be a little bit of endurance. You might have to go a little easy on this restart. I know drivers don't like to hear that.
You're gonna,
national treasures that Jeff labeled them. But
yeah, you're going to tell the national treasure.
Yes, they're going to be frustrated.
Keep track position, but go slow.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
So Walich is 9th. Zilich is 14th on the restart. Parker Kligerman moves out of line. He tries to get to the outside of the one of Sam Mayer. 4 wide for Kligerman as he's trying to use that outside line.
Custer's got a big run on the outside with a push from the 20 car.
Will Hill lose the lead to Custer through 3 and 4? Fighting back on that inside line. Almirola's going to go high. Little side drafting from that 00, and Custer half a car length in front of Austin Hill. They stay side by side. Into 3 they go. Hill to the bottom of the racetrack again. He clears the 00, drifts up in front of him, and Hill out in front.
Big run here by Custer, though. Austin Hill drove into turn 3 very early on the bottom of the racetrack. That hurt the center of the corner and exit speed.
Hill up high, loses the lead to Custer. And now trying to hang on to second as Almirola got to his inside. And that 20 looking fast as he dives to the bottom of turn 3. Here comes Hill again on the outside, and look at the 16 of Allmendinger.
I don't feel like anybody's saving tires right here. They are all running hard.
You're absolutely right, Jeff. They're trying to find the positions while they think they can. What damage is being done to the tires, we'll have to find out a bunch of laps from now, but you're going to want that clean air. That also helps tire wear.
Ryan Sieg in the 28. He's on the inside right now of Allmendinger. making the most of these good years. Riding along with the Verizon on board of Jesse Love as he sees those 4 cars, 5 cars in front of him. Hill, after the restart, has dropped back to 3rd.
They've taken his line away from him. He wants to be on the bottom of the racetrack, but Cole Custer, he's running the bottom in 1 and 2. Let's go back and watch how he lost this lead. Watch the 21. He gets a big run, but he turns really early. Gets to the bottom of the racetrack very soon. Tries to slide up in front of the 00, but that angle of attack into turn 3 was so shallow, he wasn't able to carry speed on corner exit, and that's how Cole Custer passes him.
Almirola using that momentum as well, got by Hill.
And Austin Hill's like, what are y'all doing down here? Y'all wanted the top of the racetrack. I gave it to you. Now everybody's down in the middle and the bottom where the 21 made so much ground up earlier.
And as so many teams were talking about tire wear and maybe seeing cords, the first stop, the 21, they said no tire issues at all. The tires look good. So whatever Austin Hill is doing has been working through both stage 1 and 2, which he won both of.
That was an impressive pass right there. Just drove to the bottom, went right by the 20, slid up in line. This 21 car is really, really driving good. And Austin Hill doing a really nice job behind the wheel.
I like to see Cole Custer on the bottom right here. We saw him run the top in 3 and 4 the last time by, and the 21 just ate him up. Back to the top again.
Hill back to his comfort zone down there in the bottom of the racetrack, but that gives the momentum to the 20 of Eric Almirola. He's closed the gap now. Hill again to near the bottom through 1 and 2. And these different lines, different options for the teams and drivers. Custer, he continues to lead, 17 laps up front.
The 00 of Custer, he has not been very fast at the end of long runs. So Steve mentioned it. If this thing goes green, you're going to have to run longer than you have at any point in this race. So knowing that, Steve, as a driver, I need to know, okay, we're going to have to run more laps. I need you to be smart on these tires.
Yeah, I want to remind you and give you a better idea. Hey, we're 10 of the 50 we need to run, 20, 30, kind of give you a rundown of how you're going. So behind the wheel, drivers understand how much the grip should go off. I don't want you to be surprised when I jump on the radio and say, hey, we still got to run 40 more. Give you a little bit of a heads up as the 16 slides up the racetrack. Man, thought he was going to get the 28 as he was going up the hill.
Drifted up the track, and look at this run by the 81 of Chandler Smith. He will easily clear both the 16 and the 28. They had a great battle last week.
Oh, so much fun to watch. Now the 7 of Allgaier, he's the opposite of the 21. He seems just very committed to the top. As everybody moves around, lap after lap, he lifts very early. So he completely goes off the back bumper of that 28. Gets up to the wall, picks up the gas nice and early.
Wow, Allmendinger.
Wow, you're right.
He is just willing to put his car and put others in situations that making those guys uncomfortable.
He's driving like a guy with a win.
Yes. Fight for the lead. Here comes the 21 again. As Ryan Sieg in the 28 has cleared the 16, but a big move to the inside, and Allmendinger is going to try to take that spot back.
We saw already that Allmendinger's willing to just slide right up in front of his competitors, doing it again. But Sieg knows that, knows he's going to be slow on corner exit, so Sieg tries to go to the bottom, but that's going to cost him a spot.
And on the top for the lead, Austin Hill has been able to close the gap down to a car length. This time Cole Custer goes all the way down and takes the air off the front of that 21. Chandler Smith with a run in the 81 on the bottom of the screen. Fight for the lead on top, and the battle for third down below. Now, Hill, door to door with Custer for the lead. Little side drafting as they go down the backstretch and into turn 3. Will Hill drift up the racetrack? It looks as though he's going to stay on the bottom.
I'm super impressed with this 21 car on old tires or older tires. Able to stay that close on corner exit off of 4 on the bottom. That tells me he's able to be in the gas really early down there and then stay in it. Can't make the pass, but just the fact he can keep himself in position is impressive. This time he's not going to go to the bottom. He's going to run up there with the 00, trying to be a little bit below him, trying to get a little bit of clean air on that nose. Clearly faster than the 00 right now.
He's going to jump out of line, make another run at the 00 right here, running kind of the middle, and then overslows the middle of the corner so he could turn down on entry. Just doesn't have it.
The gap now 4 car lengths as they enter turn 3. Cole Custer out in front. Hill running second. Almirola, Love, Allmendinger top 5. Ryan Sieg is 6th. Chandler Smith, Allgaier, Kligerman, and Mayer all a part of the top 10. Cole Custer now back to a comfort zone for him up front in Miami. Thursday night, that's game night on the CW. First, it's Raven Simone. She's hosting an all-new episode of Scrabble, followed by a brand-new Trivial Pursuit, hosted by LeVar Burton. It's Thursday night game night at 8/7 Central only on the CW.
They should have Cole Custer on that show.
Be a lot safer for him. As we see the 16 of Allmendinger still running the wall and able to clear the 2 of Jesse Little. Again, out front, Austin Hill was able to complete the pass on Custer. You saw it. This is how it happened.
Just turns left, getting into 1, shortens the distance, and slides right up in front of the 0-0. Made it look easy, Jeff, for a pass that he attempted for 4 or 5 laps.
Well, I don't think he put a lot of effort into it. I think that he honestly was a lot faster than the 0-0 the entire time. Did not want to harm his tires. Finally just said, okay, I'm going to take this spot, and it did. And now was driven off by a 1.5 seconds. Just pacing himself in my eyes.
As far as the playoff drivers, they're doing everything they need to do. You look at, say, the 7 of Allgaier. He's currently 31 points above the cut line. The 21 of Austin Hill in a position now where he could possibly win this race. He is out front and leading a lot of laps. As a matter of fact, 60 laps already led, Dave.
And Rick, maybe in the process, solving the riddle of Homestead-Miami Speedway in an Xfinity car. What a job the team has done, Ryan. The first stage all around the bottom of the track. Second stage, a lot of it at the top and using the top to help block that top position. After the restart, he lost the lead to Cole Custer, but he said, that was on me. I just let him get that. But right now he says the car is really good. And as for Cole Custer behind him, now back to second position, he said, I just don't have the overall grip that he has. That's really the only complaint out of the 0-0. Remember, second best car on the track. He's fast. He's just not as fast as the 21 right now, Marty.
Dave, in this race last year, Justin Allgaier was very strong on the short runs, and that's something that Jim Pullman, his crew chief, felt like they needed to work on. So during the week, this week, they talked about discipline. In fact, in the first 2 stages and here in stage 3, Pullman has intentionally wanted Allgaier to not run hard early in the run. And coming up in 2 laps, he's going to let him, quote unquote, go. Here was that Channel 2 conversation between Pullman and spotter Eddie DeHaan.
When you do tell them to go, we need to remind them to not fence it as soon as you say go. Oh, trust me, I plan on it. It's the worst thing that could happen. Yeah, it's just a gentle pickup, right? Like, okay, let's start easing on up there.
So in stage 2, when they told him to go, that's when he made contact with the wall, Steve, twice. So, Steve, my question to you is, have you ever done that with one of your drivers? Have you ever said, hey, don't go early in the run, save it for the end of the run here at Miami?
So I've never intentionally held a driver back early, but I will tell you that Dale Jr. was a master at running the top here. And, Jeff, you remember those races here? He would figure out the top, and he would have 1/10 of a second in the bank. I mean, 3, 4, 5/10 of a second faster than others. And there was a moment there where I would say, okay, we don't need to be that fast. Meaning, I don't know what you're doing or how you're doing it, but if you can somehow be 10% safer, let's try to work that out, because what you don't want to do is do this multiple times. It seems like light contact, but every time you bend those crush panels, you move that side in a little bit more, and eventually you'll have a flat tire.
As we were hearing the report from Marty and that conversation between Pullman and DeHaan, we saw the 7 get into the wall. Exactly what they didn't want him to do.
Oh, boy.
And a big caution here. As we see the 26, that's Ryan Truex behind the wheel. He has spun from 13th.
Ryan driving for Sam Hunt Racing this weekend. See what happens.
Ryan 2 wins already in 2024, but it was behind the wheel of the 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Oh, trouble on the 11. Sparks heavy on the right front. Flat tire, I believe, goes up the banking and catches the 26. Poor Truex had no idea it was coming and nothing he could do wrong. And I assume it was a flat tire on the 11. It had the makings of the Sparks, like the tire went flat and it got on the front suspension and into the left rear of the 26.
As a driver, you're like, what just happened there?
Yeah.
Remind my old business I got run into.
Yeah, you see the flat tire being rolled off to 11 there of Josh Williams. And with 27 green flag laps on the tires, I think when pit road is open, we're going to see all the leaders pit. That'll leave them one set left in their pits. They're not inside their fuel window with 7-8 laps to go in the race, but I mean, if you somehow thought you wanted to save your tires and didn't pit here, first of all, you need fuel in just 25 or 30 laps. You would lose a lap in like 10 laps. I mean, you're 2 or 3 seconds off what new tires would be, so you're going to have to come get your third of your 4 sets available.
Well, make sure you shift into high gear with your chance to win an all-access Daytona 500 experience. All you got to do is scan that QR code you see on the screen, or you can visit NASCAR.com/racking up the wins right now if you want to enter.
That caution, Sammy Smith, who we've talked about all day having issues with right front tires, he's going to get the free pass. He was the first car a lap down, so he's back in the game.
Well, another car looking to make something of the day, currently 23 below the cut line, the 81 of Chandler Smith. Let's listen in.
Yeah, that's honestly not a practical adjustment for a pit stop. We'll lose so many positions.
We've lost spots every pit stop today, and we haven't made any good adjustments. I'm fine with it at this point.
I'm telling you, we'll come out 25th, and I don't see us making it up.
Copy.
So, you know, a little disagreement between driver and crew chief. Obviously, whatever the driver wanted for an adjustment, the crew chief, Jeff Mendering, says, look, we can't do that. We're going to come out 25th, and even if the car's a rocket ship with 77 laps, we're not going to drive back to the front. Sometimes you just, I mean, that's your job. You're not in the heat of the battle inside the car. You're up here on top of the pit box. You have the whole picture. You just have to manage the race as you see fit.
Making their way onto progressive pit road once again. And again, there's still 76 laps to go in this race, Kim.
Yeah, and for Jesse Love in the 2 car, he said in 3 and 4 he was tight center, lacking drive off, but he said it feels like the track's going to come to him once the sun goes down. You see him top left. The call's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires, 1 up on the track bar, as well as Sunoco fuel he's told to save, Dave.
Austin Hill said really good. A little bit free when I'm in dirty air, but don't make any changes. 4 Goodyear tires for him and fuel. Cole Custer, in the meantime, he's got to. He lost a part of that. Hopefully you can free me up a little bit on this run, Marty.
Listen, Allgaier said, I'm sorry I keep hitting the wall, guys. I feel like I'm hitting it with the right rear, and that kind of puts the right front into the wall. But he said, I'm honestly afraid to make drastic changes to the car because I feel like the track is about to change, and that's going to be in our favor. And once again, Rick, the 21 team keeps Austin Hill in the lead.
Yeah, that race off progressive pit road shows that the 21 team remains perfect. They have not lost a spot on pit road. Caution comes out for this as Josh Williams in the 11 drifts up the racetrack and catches Ryan Truex. The metropolitan area of Miami, population over 6 million people are able to enjoy South Florida. Steve, you have been on the roads with them over the past couple of days.
I have. All 6 million, I think, on the last trip down. I mean, the weather's so good, no wonder so many people live here. Beautiful weather.
How about the 2-car? Picked up 3 spots on pit road, now starting on the outside.
That's teammates making up row 1. Austin Hill once again on the inside with Jesse Love on the outside. Cole Custer back behind the 21 as the green flag back in the air. And a great restart this time for Austin Hill. He'll easily clear the 2 of Jesse Love. Now we'll see what Eric Almirola in the 20 will do. Custer trying to hold on to that second spot as Love working the middle of the racetrack. He's going to lose second, but here comes Custer. He's all the way to the inside of the 21, and he clears him as they come off of 4.
What a move by the 0-0 third to first in 1 set of quarters. And with 72 to go in the race and 1 set of tires in the pits, we talk a lot about saving tire, but if you, to your point, Jeff, what's the plan? If I'm going to pit right in the middle, I only need to run about 35 on each set so we can push hard.
Yeah, go as hard as you can right here. You see Ryan Sieg trying to take second place from Jesse Love. Third place, I'm sorry.
Love trying to fight back on the outside. And now a run by the 20 of Almirola.
And look what it does, right? With the 21 not leading, he now comes in plus 13, just above the cut line, still above, but that automatic advancement gone away.
Playoff bubble, 13 points separating Hill and Chandler Smith. Hill running second, has led 70 laps. It would be a massive disappointment if Hill is not able to close out this race. Jesse Love sliding a little bit through the center of the turn, but still able to stay just on the inside of that 21.
RCR cars have been fast on the bottom of the racetrack all day long. Jesse Love taking the spot from his teammate.
A wiggle there out of the 21. He drifts up to the wall. So Love now up to second. Custer, Love, and Hill 1, 2, 3.
And Rick, I'm sure that other cars have made improvements where the 21s maybe not quite as aggressive on their adjustments, but let's not forget the lights are starting to come on, the sun's starting to go down. I'm also very confident this track is going through a shift. This is a track when it does cool, it seems to turn a little bit better. The front tires gain grip.
Sieg's going to drift up. Does he have enough room to clear the 21? Barely.
Didn't give him much choice.
This was the impressive move from Cole Custer to take the lead.
Yeah, it kind of side drafts that 2 of Jesse Love and then just turns to the bottom, clears the 2, gasses it up. The 21 goes up the hill a little bit and all the way to the lead of the race.
That tells me the 21, you said it, that these adjustments were not good for him, or others have made that car better, track temps down. But the fact that the 0-0 could make that pass that easily off the 21 tells me the 21 just is not as good as he once was.
Cole Custer out front. Love running the higher line now. Holding on to second. Ryan Sieg has moved up to third. Hill fourth. Almirola is fifth. Top 5 separated by 1.2 seconds.
Long runs have been the 21's strength. We'll see if that continues, but With 67 to go, Steve, and if this thing goes green, what's really going to matter is track position, but also who can get on and off pit road the best.
On and off, and what pit you come. Tires are worth so much. If I can beat someone to pit road by just 1 lap, that could be 3 seconds.
And if you've got to put the pressure on the pit crews, you would want to have the 21s. They have been perfect, have not lost a spot on pit road all day.
And what if how about Ryan Sieg, right? Heartbreak, so close. A week ago at Las Vegas, he's up to 3rd. Continues to hang around.
Sam Mayer, he's going to get by a couple drivers in one turn.
Look at the slide all the way to the wall.
Marty, how about Allgaier?
Rick, still too early in the run for Allgaier to quote-unquote go. And before the green flag, he talked with Eddie DeHaan about their strategy today. Take a listen in.
Just need to keep it out of the wall. I don't mean that derogatory. I just want to make it to the end.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I know. It's finding that balance, right? Like, I want to be up there racing for the win so bad. And it's so hard to lose spots and then just be okay with it, you know?
Jeff, race car drivers are always known to not be the most patient type of human beings, but how frustrating would it to be in Justin Allgaier's spot with a crew chief saying, hey, rein it back in a little bit early in the run, that'll help us later in the run. But to Pullman's point, they're in the perfect position to advance to Martinsville with the points they need.
Well, I feel like that they never have approached this race with the winning mentality. They've come in here saying we just need to survive and have a decent day, and that strategy is fine, Steve, as long as you go to Martinsville, have a decent day. But if you go to Martinsville, and by the way, we just showed the highlights of what it was like last year, and you get wrecked late in the race, you could finish 30th. So that is trusting that you're going to have a very solid day at Martinsville.
28. Ryan Sieg. So close a week ago. Same car. So they turned this car around. I love that out of a small team. They say, you know what? This is the best car we have, Kim. We ran in Las Vegas all the way on the West Coast, and now here we are all the way in Southern Florida.
Yeah, this car has been the product of 2 of their runner-up finishes, not only the Vegas car, but the Texas car. It was repaired originally at Stewart-Haas Racing at the beginning of the year through their alliance, but hasn't seen that shop since then. It has been Ryan Sieg and his team that have massaged on this car the second half of the season to get it good. And, you know, last week it stung for that team, especially in the moment, but crew chief Matt Noyes told me that he only sees the positive. It shows that they are building, and I asked him what he was most impressed with last week as they got that runner-up finish, and he said, you know what, I'm impressed with our crew. We had the fastest stop of the year by 0.8 of a second. The pit crew showed up in the moment. They maintained position on pit road, and for the crew to perform like that, it gives Ryan as a driver all the more confidence. As you see again, that heartbreak as A.J. Allmendinger won the race, and Sieg ultimately had to settle for second place.
He's had some close finishes. Texas, as a matter of fact, was thousandths of a second that he finished second to Sam Mayer at that race. And he's trying to get by this 2 of Jesse Love for the second position, but as he's doing it, that's allowing that 42 of Leland Honeyman to kind of be in the mix here. It's Cole Custer out in front. He has a 2.3 second lead over Love. Make sure to download the official app of NASCAR and follow the action with free live scoring. There's in-car cameras as well as radio broadcasts. Upgrade to premium for full access to the driver audio as we run right up against the wall. The 19 into the wall.
I wonder if the 19 doesn't have a flat tire because, yeah, just before that, it was a gigantic save out of the 19. Then the next corner he went in and he hit the wall.
Now the sparks are flying.
Oh, don't go by him on the right. So let's take a look at it overall. This is him getting loose. Check this out, Jeff. Big slide by the 19 right here. You're going to see a big correction. Right there. My goodness, that's big. And then I wonder if that's not a flat tire because now he goes down into the... Oh, this is the correction from on board. Watch these hands.
Trying to make a pass on Brandon Jones, gets really loose, loses all of his momentum.
And then the next corner,
back up against the fence. It gets in it, and now it just sucks it into the wall. And there's times that happens, and you just cannot get away from the wall, and that's what happened there.
The only positive I can make in this for the 19 is he can make it on fuel from now to the end of the race. If everybody pits on the green, it will lessen the damage a little, but he had to ride around slow on this flat tires, which is really going to hurt.
I would tell you the big advantage to me is that he's getting ready for next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and so those kind of mistakes, rookie driver, and now he's in that car full time next year, so that's just experience making a deposit.
And if you're the 7 of Allgaier, who's probably getting frustrated riding around, Marty's continued to update on that plan for the 7 to go nice and easy, and you go by that guy driving with the right side knocked off and a flat tire, I think it allows you to take, okay, back to the plan. Let's not be that guy because it is so easy to get. I mean, look at the walls around this place. The wall in 3 and 4 is completely covered with tire marks.
Yeah, we're seeing it in 1 and 2 as well. So they are running the wall here as Allgaier is trying to go by his teammate, Sam Mayer.
It's going to be very interesting last 52 laps here because I think the strategy would call you to pit road with about 35 to go, put your last set of tires on and go. So for Custer, Love, Hill, that's probably what you're going to do. The question, though, is does somebody try to run extra long, right, and then save that set of tires all the way until maybe a yellow comes out?
Love still holding on to the 2nd spot, but he's 3 seconds behind Cole Custer. Here we ride along with Jesse Love.
Jesse Love, the last time into turn 3, he entered the corner so low. Watch this right here. Right on the bottom of the racetrack. That is so unusual looking from what everyone else has done. I actually thought he was pitting that lap. It's working for him. 4th fastest that lap.
He was out of the gas for so long, too, running that bottom line.
Again, 4th fastest.
This is that Kevin Harvick Atlanta line. Lift real early, go all the way around the white line. Don't let the walls kind of make you go wide on exit. Just run super efficient.
Marty, issue on pit road?
Well, the things you see in NASCAR never cease to amaze me, Rick. This is water on pit road from a couple of coolers that are behind pit road. And look which pit stalls it's between. It's between Sam Mayer's pit stall and Justin Allgaier's pit stall. So, Steve, the crews are feverishly trying to get this cleaned up and right up here on pit road. And pit stops are coming very quickly here. They're kind of expecting this last pit stop here in stage 3. And that's where it came from. Justin Allgaier's cooler and also Sam Mayer's cooler. I've never seen this one, Steve, but how important is it that these 2 teams get this cleaned up?
Well, it's important. They did it to themselves, though, right? If it's the 1 and the 7 cooler between the 1 and the 7 pit stall. Green flag pit stops. I'm not sure if I would like to be the guy that has to leave through the water. I'd probably like that better than the 7 who has to come in through the water.
My advice would be to not drain the coolers until after the race.
Like, what are we doing?
I'm trying to get some weight out of those things.
Here's a moment between the 1 and the 7 just a few laps ago. Oh, my goodness. Sam Mayer drifted up the racetrack.
This 19 car on new tires, so you can see how much faster newer tires are. And then that close contact or near contact
At 19, we mentioned Sawalich, his first ever Xfinity Series start. He has close to 90 friends and family here to witness this first start in the Xfinity Series. Parents, grandparents, friends, everybody wanting to be a part of it. Cole Custer out in front. He's won here before. Can he make it 2 times in Miami? Green flag pit stops have begun, and when Eric Almirola came to pit road, that is now going to bring everyone to pit road. Dave.
Including leader Cole Custer. You see the black car coming down pit lane. The flashy move from third to first put him out front, and he has stayed there as much as a 3-second lead over the cars behind him. So he'll get 4 Goodyear tires. They'll get it full of fuel for the final time, Kim.
As you see Jesse Love in that white and red 2-car bottom left, he said he needs drive as well as tighten up on entry. They will make a track bar adjustment, you just saw, as well as take 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel. His teammates, Austin Hill, also on pit road.
No right rear grip. That's for Austin Hill. He needed that fixed.
Those cars coming off of pit road as Ryan Truex also on pit road. Connor Zilisch now leaving pit road. Creed running the wall is out in front.
So if you're willing to give up a chance to have a good finish, you can stay on the racetrack. Like, I'm surprised we see the 8 of Sammy Smith coming right here. I would have thought this car would have run another 15 or 20 laps, just hoping for a really, really lucky yellow, Kim, to use their last set of tires late in the race.
Yeah, ultimately decided to come down pit road. The report that Sammy gave his team, he said, the camber adjustments we made earlier helped the front turn, but the rear is just too free on landing. You're going to see a chassis adjustment as well as fresh Goodyears and Sunoco fuel for Sammy Smith.
Austin Hill trying to get everything he can coming to pit road. As we watch the 8 leave, this was Austin Hill coming to pit road.
We know this is a slippery entry. We watched the 5 car hit the barrels last year in the Cup race, chasing the 12 on the pit road. So nice job by Jesse Love, to be quite honest, to not let that distract him and get down to speed. Now the 81 in, Marty.
Yeah, Chandler Smith started on the pole today, Steve, and led the first 29 laps of the race, but they have struggled with the handling since then. A little bit too free on corner exit. That's his biggest problem here. 4 fresh Goodyear tires and a bit of a longer stop for the 81 here.
Yeah, can't get the left side jack out. They've dropped it, or the car rolled off from it. I can't tell from this angle whether the jack's tipped or not. But either way, the damage is done, both to the car and to the time on the racetrack. Like I said, I just was surprised everybody came at once, not for the guys up front. I knew what they were thinking. They had to try to keep their track position. And Chandler Smith, who came in 8 above the cut line, I also understand where they are, but a little surprised by the 8. I like what the 1 is doing. So the 1 of Sam Mayer is staying on this racetrack. And, you know, if we run another 15 laps and then the caution comes out, he could come get tires, and he'll have a humongous tire advantage on all the cars that were winning cars. The same for the 18 in Creed. Let's see exactly what happens, whether it rolls off the jack or gets dropped and just doesn't. I can't tell. There was a kind of a crew member in the way. I think he drove it off the jack.
Yeah, I feel like he put it in gear, and he, like you said, he tried to drive it off the jack.
Here comes Allgaier in the 7 onto Progressive Pit Road.
They called a conservative race from the driver, and really a conservative race from pit road. Didn't want to get caught by a yellow. Don't hate this call for the 7. Sticking with their plan, Marty.
The disciplined Justin Allgaier, despite the right rear damage there you see around the Brandt logo. He said it just needs a little bit help on exit. That's the biggest issue. The water that came onto pit road a little bit earlier, not an issue. They got that cleaned up nicely. It's a little bit too free on exit, corner exit for Justin Allgaier.
See where this just all cycles back around, right? So Custer is the race leader of cars that have pitted. So, and he has a pretty big gap over the 21 of Hill.
Yeah, almost 12 seconds between Custer and Hill. Those two were separated by 4 seconds when the green flag pit stop started. 18 was about 5 seconds behind when the 00 did come to pit road. So Creed out in front.
Yeah, it's updated now, Rick. It's about 3 seconds between the 00 and the 21. I saw the same monitor as you, and I said the time on the monitor doesn't look like it does out the window. About 3 seconds. Here's the 00 right here, and if we look back, we're going to see the 21 kind of appear. He's 4 or 5 cars back. There he is, the white car on the bottom of the racetrack. So 3.5 seconds back to the 00.
And Sheldon Creed out there leading this race. He just ran a 36.60. Custer a 35.10, so 1.5 seconds faster.
I love the gamble by Sam Mayer. I know we're going to talk about Creed. Allmendinger also a playoff car, but he's won a race. But the guy who is playing the cards to upset everyone is the one of Sam Mayer. I just really like what Marty Lindley's doing. An old school racer. He knows that it's going to take a win where they came in points. Matt might not say it, but he feels like it. And now he's out here riding around in third. Can they get the lucky yellow somewhere in the next 15 laps or so?
You see, first through 6, it's been 43 laps since they were on pit road. And then Custer, the freshest tires, is running 7th.
They could probably go about 15 more to 17 more on fuel, I believe.
Lettering on the right side of that 1 of Sam Mayer, not there. They've been into the wall enough that the yellow lettering is gone.
Just surprised that the speed of Custer isn't more than it is compared to Creed in this 1 car. I would have thought new tires would have meant more.
Marty, how about Sam Mayer?
Yeah, Rick, a little while ago before this cycle started, Marty Lindley told Mayer on the radio, we need to do something different. Listen in.
Kevin, we need some lap time. We got to start trying some different stuff here, or we're just going to finish where we're going to finish.
So, Steve, that was a challenge to the driver, but now, as you talked about, this scenario has presented a challenge to the crew chief. This is how Marty Lindley has answered. It's not always on the driver, is it, Steve, to say, hey, I want to do something different. Sometimes the crew chief can say, I'm going to do something different, and that's what Lindley has done here.
Well, you have to just keep fighting, and you also can't, Jeff says it all the time, you can't be in denial. At some point, you have to look at where you stack up against the field and say, we just don't have it today. That doesn't mean that you can't win the race. The fastest car doesn't always win the race. Pit stops, strategy, restarts. A lot goes into these things.
You see Sam there, you know, conversation from Marty Lindley saying,
you have a tire coming apart soon, copy.
Yep, into the wall there.
So now I think he'll be forced to come down, and this will force the hand of the one right in front of him. The 18 of Creed's also on pit road, so strategy call, but they didn't get the yellow. I still love the call, even if it doesn't work out. Kim.
Yeah, playing the long game. That's Sam McCauley, crew chief for Sheldon Creed. Sheldon reporting he just can't trust the front tires until late in the run. They're going to take good years as well as Sunoco fuel. Marty, as Sam Mayer making his stop.
Boy, Kim, Sam Mayer is lucky that that tire sort of gave him an indication going into turn 3, and you saw him immediately pull it off the wall all the way down to pit road. Credit to him for being able to get it to slow down to be able to get to pit road. We'll see which tire it was, but yes, he came on the radio and said he felt like he had a tire coming apart. So Sam Mayer finally making his last set of tires, putting on the last set of tires here at Miami this afternoon.
Yeah, slow stop, and everything went wrong really with the one car comes in. You're going to see him try to hit his signboard, gets on the brakes, slides over. Now, very good work by the crew. Even the gas man doesn't plug in. Remember, any work is a much larger penalty, so heads up work by the crew, but unfortunately the gamble for the one didn't work out without a yellow. So now we have Allmendinger, who's on the same strategy, Jones and SVG. Custer in 4th. He's the car that has enough fuel to make it to the finish, right? So that's the car who now passes SVG for 3rd. We're going to show you how much new tires mean. This one of Sam Mayer is easily going to drive by the 00 to take a lap back. Marty.
And Steve, it was the right front. Sam Mayer diagnosed it correctly. You can see where it was kind of coming unwound on the right front for Sam Mayer. So yes, indeed, it was a tire coming apart. There you go. So he got it in time before he made harder contact with the wall. But yet, to the point, the pit crew not being ready, they weren't ready to pit. They didn't think he was coming to pit road. That's why that pit stop was so just disorganized.
Thinking that he had a tire going down, Sam Mayer made a hard left turn to get to pit road there as he goes by Brandon Jones. Mayer right now scored 19th and not the first car scored a lap down. Right now that's Anthony Alfredo running 13th. Truck race run here earlier today only had 13 cars on the lead lap at the end of that one.
So at this point, A.J. Allmendinger is hoping for a caution before he has to come to pit road in the next 10 laps. That's the strategy for the 16. The same for the 9. You see right here, Brandon Jones. Now the 00, who's passing the 9, that is 4th position. The 00 will be the leader of this race. He is for sure good on fuel and good on tires. He's racing the bottom of your screen, the 21 of Austin Hill. This is the race for the win between these two cars currently, barring a yellow that changes the strategy.
And they are separated by about 3 seconds right now.
Yeah, the 21 caused the 00 a little bit through that exchange, but the 00 is getting through that traffic. Now the 21, those 3 cars are. The 21's going to have to go through them. Parker Kligerman going by the 00. He just pitted a few laps ago, so he's got newer tires.
So just, you know, an update on that conservative call by Allgaier, who's running 10th, right? Well, we've taken a look at the points. Conservative, I know what you're saying, Jeff. We don't know what's going to happen next week. But right now at plus 33, I think the 7 car, from what I've heard on the radio, they're going to feel okay about that day, right? Custer at plus 28, if he wins the race, which he should be scored the leader once Allmendinger pits. That will kind of jump him up as well. Won't change the running a whole lot, but it will guarantee Custer a spot. And then Hill has to feel really good about 17. It's not a guarantee, but double digits, even going to Martinsville, feels better than not.
Dave, what about Allmendinger?
Yeah, radio transmission, Rick, from the driver a couple of laps ago. I don't care if I can make it another 15 laps or so in these tires. And I believe that means that he doesn't feel good about how they feel underneath the car. Crew chief radio back, if you feel like it's coming apart, we'll have to make a quick decision. But so far, his crew is still sitting near the wall, not standing up, ready to service the 16.
You want a yellow, you don't want to be the yellow.
I'm still impressed with the speed of this car, though. Only a second slower than the guys that pitted much sooner than later than he did. See the one of Mayer?
He's getting a lap back by going by Allmendinger.
Very important, because if the caution comes out while he doesn't have tires to put on, he'll then just line up with everybody else on the lead lap.
And Mayer has driven to the 15th position. And that'll put 15 cars on the lead lap. Eric Almirola running in the 4th spot. We saw Eric early on fighting for the lead as we take a look at our Toyota driver update. He has run up front. Almirola leading a lap. He has been all the way back in 25th. And now the 16 of Allmendinger on pit road. So he'll give up the lead. And that will put Cole Custer out in front. Dave.
And Rick, they knew from the beginning of the run, just like everybody else, they wouldn't be able to make it all the way. So Allmendinger will bring the car down pit road now. The car has been actually fairly decent. It's just the worn out tires he wants to get rid of and change. Get the 16 back on track. See what he can do to the end.
Hindsight's 20/20, Steve, but I mean, was this the wrong move? I mean, Allmendinger was really good early in this race.
I mean, he's going to go on the racetrack with a huge tire advantage. He's going to make some of the time back. I don't know if he has 20 laps, if he can make it up, make up enough time. But I actually like the gamble. I mean, I don't think this is a bad decision. As long as he can, he's going to go a lap down, but he just needs to get the lap back relatively quickly, because then if the yellow comes out, he'll still have the best tires when he pulls up behind the field.
Well, as we saw the 00 go by, there's the 21 right behind him. So here comes the 16. Right, he's going to have fresh tires, but that gap to the 21 and the 00 has closed. Watch these new tires. He's going to fly by these guys.
Just manage to him, not using any more tire than we have to.
So there you go. Manage to him, unlap yourself, and then cruise. Because this strategy is still about a yellow. Once you unlap yourself, if you get a yellow, you're going to restart doubled up with great tires, because look at everybody else. 23, some have 50. Creed only has 10, making up a ton of time. Mayer as well with 10, making up a ton of time. And Allmendinger with only 1 lap. And for Allmendinger, it's not about points. He's already advanced.
'21 has closed this gap. Look at this. 21 getting by that traffic. Only 1 car in between them now.
And 17 laps to go from Miami.
Jeff, you said it. The strength of the 21 has been the long run, and the weakness for the 00 has been the long run. Up until this final stage, did the green flag pit stop make a difference? Were there adjustments made to these 2 cars?
Both of these drivers looking for that automatic bid in the championship 4 with a win.
The 21 has not run the top much. Now with everything on the line, he's moved up there, and the car's responded.
1.2 seconds back that lap before. 1 second that lap. 2 tenths cut out of the lead.
He goes back to the bottom through 1 and 2. 16 laps remain.
And what makes this such a difficult battle for Custer is today, this track has been as wide as any race we've seen there. The bottom, the middle, the top. Seems like multiple lanes have worked.
Unless Custer's saving tire right here, he is in trouble. The 21 is running him down quickly.
Best finish for Austin Hill previously, 4th. here at Miami. We mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Before this race even started, Cole Custer had dominated the competition on laps led from Miami. He's led 64 today.
Down to 3/4 of a second. Austin Hill is able to drive much faster into the corner.
I think the key for Hill is going to be this upcoming traffic. The 00 has 4, 5, 6 lap cars on the front stretch that I believe they are absolutely going to catch with about 10 to go.
Same tire strategy for both of these cars. And look at how much of a gap the 21 has picked up on Cole Custer.
He is way quicker. You talk about the lap traffic that they're coming up on. I think this 21 car, he has more options with his vehicle to be able to put it in different positions. Can run the bottom, the middle, the top. Cole Custer seems to be married to the top of the racetrack.
When he gets to his back bumper, what will the options be for the 21 of Hill? And we see the traffic now is right there in front of the 00 of Cole Custer. And look at how much ground Austin Hill has made up. Goes to the back, to the bottom of the racetrack again.
You don't have to be in a big rush right here if you're Austin Hill. 13 laps to go. You know where the weakness is of the 00. Plenty of time to get this done.
Dawson Cram in the 74. Staying right up against the fence. That's the line we've seen the 00 take. So now Cole Custer dives to the bottom of the racetrack, and here comes the 21. A big run through the middle of the track.
He got exactly what he wanted. That was a gift from Custer running the bottom, because the 21 has been running that groove, runs low on the entry and then jumps on the outside of him.
Hill takes the lead away from Custer.
00 is going to try to fight back, but it's going to be really difficult with that 21 up against the wall.
Hill out in front. And now you see with Hill leading, Allgaier 36 above the line, 29 for Custer above the line.
As far off as the 00 of Custer is right now, you wonder if he's having some sort of a tire issue, a small leak or something. He's a half a second off Austin Hill.
Well, and remember, earlier in the race, he did have some right front tire wear, and pitting under green is harder on the tires because you don't go out and ride around slow for a couple laps and bring them up to temperature. You leave pit road on the gas, go down to turn 3, cold tires, full grip. So you can damage a tire easier than you can under caution.
Under 10 to go. Marty.
Rick, I was about to tell you 10 to go. All these teams are hoping that it would stay green, except Brandon Jones, who had one more set of tires left, but they give up the ghost here. However, bottom right of your screen, Shane Van Gisbergen sitting in their stall, one more set of Goodyear tires. So, Steve, if they get a caution, would the 97 immediately be the favorite to win the race with the only team that has a set of tires left?
Yeah, I believe even with 20 cars in the lead lap, the only guy with tires as wide as this track is, if he could work through traffic, it could happen. But he's going to need the caution soon, because even in an overtime, I'm not sure he could go from 20th to 1st.
Well, he's been out on the racetrack for 66 laps, Steve. So how do you do that on fuel?
Well, at this pace, is so slow at this point, I don't think he's burning a whole lot of fuel. But I imagine we're going to see him on pit road here shortly now that we've seen the 9 pit.
Austin Hill out in front. Listen to his radio.
I just need you to focus out the windshield and not look at those mirrors. Just focus out the windshield. I got it, buddy. Give me the gap.
I like it.
I got it.
Derek Nealon said, I got it, buddy. Just keep giving me a gap and let him know what's behind. I like a team that's not afraid. You know, I'm not afraid to say that to my driver. There's Andy Street, the crew chief. You know, we're in this together, and this is an impressive drive. I didn't have 21 on my radar after practice. I thought both RCR cars just didn't quite have the raw speed of other cars in the field. Both currently inside the top 5, and the 21 looking for this big guaranteed advancement into the championship 4 at Phoenix.
And what a major shift between this run and the run before. The 21 was in big trouble. The 00 driving away from him. They both pit, make whatever changes they make, and it did not work for this car. The 21 lit off.
1.7 seconds, 1.8 seconds now, separating the top two. Under 7 laps remaining. Cole Custer trying to defend his championship from a year ago. Still as they run, you see in the lower left corner of your screen, Cole Custer 29 points above the cut line. Again, we know for sure one driver will get in based on points, even if Hill wins here and another playoff driver wins at Martinsville. So points very important for these drivers as well.
You mentioned at 21, you didn't see him having the speed yesterday in practice. I'd say the same went for Allmendinger last week.
Yeah.
So he was able to step up and win last week, locked himself into Phoenix, and now if this 21 can do it, he's locked himself in. Still a lot of racing left to go.
Yeah, 5 to go as he crosses the stripe.
SVG's out there on Joey Logano fuel economy. He's still running on the racetrack, running 14th.
Still on the lead lap. Again, he was last on pit road at lap 124. So closing in actually over 70 laps now on a tank of fuel. Steve?
Hey, never ceases to amaze me what these guys in the garage find a way to save fuel, conserve fuel. I think this is SVG's first trip here.
I've had Austin Hill. He's never gone to Phoenix contending for a championship, and that championship 4.
And I think Richard Childress looks very highly on the talent of Austin Hill behind the wheel of this 21.
No question.
If he's able to hang on and lock himself into that championship 4, Austin Hill has the drive to win a championship, but you've got to put it all together. Now 3 laps to go. And SVG is still on the racetrack.
Yeah, sitting in that race car, you are just hoping there's no cautions. You just want this thing to finish out.
Hill, a year ago, was a part of that controversial finish at Martinsville, where it got a little bit hairy between teammates. Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill fighting for position. And while those two were fighting for position, it allowed the 7 of Allgaier to get by both of them to win the race. And now Hill, under 2 laps to go, looking to secure that spot in the championship 4.
Yeah, looking for that white flag. About a half a lap to the white flag. Then he knows the next flag will end it.
You've not seen any of these guys in front. We got 1 car buffer between us. 25 car gap back to the 00.
And we talk about, we didn't see the speed yesterday in practice. Remember, he qualified 16th. You know, the worst of all the playoff drivers. But when it counted race time, they had it.
All right, 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. What a race. Austin Hill and the 21 team for RCR has put together. The gap back to Cole Custer, 3.3 seconds. Surprisingly, the 97 of Van Gisbergen is going to stay on the racetrack and complete this race with the amount of fuel he had from his pit stop at 124. Hill, in 2 playoff races, will join Allmendinger as winners. And Austin Hill is going to win in Miami.
Way to go, Daddy.
An automatic spot
Thank you guys so much.
in the championship 4.
Thank you.
And listen to the emotion.
What a car. Oh my God, thank you so much, guys. Oh man, that was awesome. Oh, we had some kicks there.
You hear the emotion. You know, this is not a normally emotional guy, and it just, you know, we can't talk about what it is like emotionally to start this in February with the dream of a championship. And everyone I've talked to, they've all said that making the championship 4 has to be your goal. Because one race, you want to do your best and you want everything to go good. but it starts by making that championship before you can hear it in the emotion out of the driver.
Let's get ready for a championship, boys.
That's the 10th career win for Austin Hill, and the emotion from him, knowing what it means, but also winning on a mile and a half. This team has not been that successful on mile and a halves. It's really not their forte, and to come here and dominate.
Austin Hill, he's known as a drafting driver. I mean, he's amazing when it comes to Talladega, Daytona, Atlanta. And now, to do what he did here, with the pressure that was on him, and he's got a flat left rear tire. Austin Hill came into this race 8 points below the cut line. He didn't need to win, but this definitely put him in a great position now to fight for a championship in Phoenix. All right, Kim, jump right into this scrum.
I don't know about that, but wow, the emotion that we are seeing from Austin Hill, the excitement. I don't think we've seen this driver as excited as he is here today. For the first time in his Xfinity Series career, he will go to Phoenix as part of the Championship 4 and fight for a title. We heard the emotion on the radio, Austin. We're seeing it here now. I don't think I've seen this kind of emotion from you. How much does this mean to you?
I worked so hard at this. A lot of people doubt me, but I wake up every day to prove everyone wrong that I deserve to be here. You know, I deserve to race for a championship. This 21 team deserves it just as much as I do. They work their asses off each and every day, just like I do, and I got to give it up to those guys. They just gave me a hell of a car. I didn't have to go run the wall. I could run really wherever I wanted to. We only had one bad run. That was that one restart there towards the end where the green flag stop just got so loose. But, oh, my God, I am, like, out of breath. I can honestly say I've never cried coming to the start-finish line, and I couldn't even get my emotions together going into turn one after the checker. Just all the hard work and dedication that goes into this. I don't think everyone's going to understand what this means to me, for my family, for Bennett. This 21 car was as fast as Xfinity Internet today, and I just had to be on it. I made some mistakes today, but we rebounded. Pit crew was badass like they always are, and I knew once we got off pit road and we were in touch with the 00, I just had to go to work and not burn my right front or right rear up and just save it for the long run. And as soon as I saw him start backing up to me, I knew it was game on. So, oh my God, this is amazing to be able to go to the Final Four. I've worked so hard at this, and my dreams came true.
Your dreams came true. You mentioned the naysayers and the haters at the beginning, and that they might say you don't deserve to be here. Tell them why you can win a championship in this series.
I mean, I think it just goes back to what we just did. If we come all prepared and we have a fast Bennett Chevrolet and I do my part, keeping my head in the game all day long, we can go win a championship just as good as the rest of the field. So I'm so excited to go to Martinsville, stress-free. I can go have some fun there. Martinsville hasn't been good to me, so we're going to celebrate this one. It's also my wife, Ashlyn's birthday.
Well, what's your happy birthday?
Tomorrow, so happy birthday to her. There's my little boy.
Oh, Bennett.
Hey, buddy.
There, it's so cute.
Oh, yeah.
And you're wearing the lucky shoes.
Oh, yeah. I guess these shoes are lucky. I mean, first playoff appearance with these shoes. Didn't have a great showing last week, but we showed it to them this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we'll let Ashlyn and Barrett come back in to celebrate with Austin Hill, who is going to Phoenix to compete for a title.
The family, it's a family affair for the Hills. Lindley and Kinsley, his daughters, also a part of the introduction earlier today. A lot of people didn't have him on the radar as far as coming to Miami and getting a win and securing that spot in the championship 4. But Austin Hill talked about how much he has put into this and this team and what they were able to accomplish. The pit crew perfect on pit road, and now Austin Hill is locked into the Champ 4. How much is on the line for these drivers when they get behind the wheel with a goal that was set almost 9 months ago, and you hear the emotion in, for example, Austin Hill's voice as he was crossing the start-finish line. It's a big deal to be able to know that you're racing for a championship. Austin Hill, AJ Allmendinger, 2 drivers now that have won their way into the championship 4, with Martinsville still to go before we find out who all 4 will be. And Cole Custer right now above the cut line, 28 points. Spoke with Dave moments ago.
Well, second most laps led today. That's a positive. I'm sure there were other positives too, but man, you wanted that win. How close or how far away were you really?
Man, I thought that second to last run we had it. The car was really good. You know, we freed it up a little bit and definitely gained some speed. But that last run, for whatever reason, we got pretty free. And the 21 seemed like they got way better than what they were the second to last run. So I don't know. I mean, really hate it for NXT and CW. Wish we got the win with them on the car. But you know, solid points day. We'll move into Martinsville. We've had good runs there before. Just gotta bring everything we got there because you never know who's gonna win.
Was it kind of a confusing race to process, because at one time you were the best, and at one time he was the best, and then at the wrong time you weren't the best?
Yeah, a lot of comers and goers, and I really can't say why. You know, I mean, I think we did some things to our car to make them better, but man, that 21 car in the long run, they just really had it together today. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I think I feel good about Martinsville.
On the plus side, but work to do at Martinsville yet.
Okay, so now we have 2 locked in, Allmendinger and Hill. Go ahead and handicap those 2 for the championship.
Well, to me, Cole Custer, first of all, let's finish out the rest of them at Martinsville. Cole Custer said it well. Look, I feel good about going to Martinsville, but what if one of those other 4 that's below the cut line, what if they win? And now you've got this very tight point battle between the 00 and the 7. A lot of stress going to Martinsville.
Well, from what I've seen in these first 2 races, you might as well plan on a playoff driver winning. It may not happen, but that would be the mindset going to Martinsville from what we've seen out of Allmendinger a week ago and Austin Hill this week.
Good to see Austin Dillon there, congratulating the driver of the 21 in this team, as well as RC. Let's get a little more in depth as far as post-race. We'll go to Marty and DJ, who are right there in victory lane.
Well timed, Rick. Look who's pulling into victory lane right behind us. That would be Austin Hill pulling in for a little celebration. We'll let him get out and celebrate with his race team. But DJ, Jeff, and C both said Austin Hill was not on their radar. Was he on your radar to win today?
No, not at all. Not from what I saw in practice, what I saw last week at a mile and a half at Las Vegas. It just didn't seem like that they were bringing the speed. But it wasn't all about speed. You know, I can't remember. I was trying to remember back throughout the whole race, the last time that I saw somebody really win and dominate a race like he did that wasn't up against the wall. That was impressive what he was able to pull off there.
Yeah, did you think you could win a race at Miami and really, honestly, run the bottom of the racetrack in the middle at best?
You know, I think that things change and, you know, setups change. You know, this is a driver that likes to run that bottom middle. He doesn't really like that top. So he committed himself to that. They worked their setup around that, and it just seemed like that it didn't wear his tires as much today in that. They had the handling perfect for him. Do I think that that can happen tomorrow's race? I don't really think that will, but it worked today, and that's all that matters. Austin Hill found that at the end of stage 1, you could tell he was going to be a factor. When he ran the leaders down and then took the lead and won the first stage, you knew he was going to be a player then. That was impressive driving by him.
Well, we talked about Justin Allgaier's strategy all day long. They played it conservative. They played it perfect. Right now, he's with Kim.
And Justin Allgaier comes home in the 8th position. I know you really wanted to win that race. In fact, at one point you said, I want to win, but I know the plan's in place. How hard was it to balance, you know, wanting to be aggressive and get out there with, hey, we just need to have a solid day?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm frustrated that we weren't able to be up there and battle those guys for a win. I mean, that's just the racer in you. You know, we did a great job all week. This team has just been, like, once we got back in our groove, the team has done an amazing job. And we sat down this week, Jim Pullman and Eddie DeHaan, and we came up with a plan, and we said we're going to stick to the plan. And we did that. We executed really, really well. It's just the cycle of things. You just want to be better. So if you're disappointed with us all day, I don't know that I finished a race here in like the last 10 years where I haven't been destroyed. So all in all, it was a good day. But we were not as fast as Xfinity Internet today, that's for sure. But our precision built brand Camaro was good, and we did all the right things. We're still above the cut by quite a bit, barring another new winner, but we'll figure it out.
So how does that place you guys in your mentality headed into Martinsville? Plus 35 is a good cushion, but it can disappear quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to rely on, you know, either us or the 00 going there and winning, right? And then that makes that 35 a lot easier to swallow. But Chandler's going to be right there, and those guys have been really, really tough all year. So, you know, for us, I don't think the plan changes. You got to go there, execute, get stage points, win the race. You know, I think we have put some pressure on some folks to maybe run the race a little bit differently, which, if that's the case, we're doing our job, and now we just have to go do all the right things. I mean, I think that's the hardest part. You go to Martinsville, of all places, which we won there last fall, so that's good. But you go to Martinsville, of all places, so it's you never know what can happen.
You never know. Justin Allgaier and this team hoping to defend their win at Martinsville next weekend.
Well, the guy with the house money did not win the race today, but at times looked very strong in the 16 car. How would you evaluate today?
I love today. The modern day garage Chevy was pretty good. 21 was obviously hooked up. Congrats to them. It's cool to get another kind of colleague RCR welcome North Carolina car in the Final Four. But yeah, we had nothing to lose, so once they started pitting, we said, let's run this thing out and maybe we get that lucky yellow and have an easy win. So, but I was really proud to run kind of top 5 all day and kind of run up there in second. I thought we were pretty good at the when everybody started pitting. So, all in all, a good day. It was we tried to steal one there, but we got speed, and that's all that matters.
Back to work on Phoenix, I assume, this week, and then maybe a little Martinsville as well.
No, we ain't working on Martinsville. That car's built. We're going out there at Phoenix, and that car's being massaged on, built. It's built, massaged on. I'll be sick of Phoenix in the sim for sure. So yeah, I'm happy we got to go to Martinsville and don't have to worry about a damn thing.
DJ, I want to go back to what Jeff Burton said in the pre-race show. He said he felt like Colleague Racing didn't need to take one step to be a championship contender. They needed to take several steps. So with the speed he has now shown in back-to-back weeks, I mean, I know it's a mile and a half and Phoenix is a flat 1 mile racetrack. Are you more encouraged about what you've seen from the 16 team lately about, hey, they might have a shot to win this title?
I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know, I think they realized they had to do something kind of drastic, and I believe they went in a direction like that. They're giving AJ cars that he can race with, and that's what you want, and that's all he's looking for when he gets to Phoenix in 2 weeks.
I want to ask you about Justin Allgaier's plan all day long. I mean, Jim Coleman put him in a spot where he said, hey, listen, I don't want you running hard early in runs. Save it for the end of the run. How difficult is that to execute as a driver?
Oh, so it just goes against everything that your mind tells you as a driver and a winning driver and a championship caliber driver, that's not the way that you want to approach this. And for Justin to go do that, I mean, now he still doesn't have a top 5 finish at this track. So it's obviously not one that they figured out. So they made the most of it, got some stage points, did what they needed to do. Now they have a real battle. He and Cole Custer are not only battling the other guys for a win, but they're battling each other for points possibly if they can't win the race at Martinsville. So I think that's going to be the tough thing between those two drivers and teams, is to keep an eye on each other, try to outpoint the other, but yet try to win the race at the same time.
Yeah, but plus 35, certainly mission accomplished for the 7 team here in Miami. But at the end of the day, it was Austin Hill in victory lane. He puts himself in the championship 4. They'll run for a title in 2 weeks right here on the CW in Phoenix. Next Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs are down to the final elimination race. Who makes the championship 4? It all happens at Martinsville next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, right here on the CW. And DJ, if it is the heavyweight brawl that it was last year, it's going to be a thriller to the last lap.
Yeah, Marty, I looked in my crystal ball before we came over here, and I saw a lot of beating, banging, not caring. If it's a teammate, it doesn't matter who it is, you're going to race for everything that you can if you're one of the 6 drivers, especially the 4 below the cut line.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier's running 3rd there on that final restart and winds up winning the race when teammates take each other out. So, you never know what can happen.
No, you don't. No.
As Kevin Harvick used to say, a lot of bent fenders and hurt feelings.
For sure, and we'll come away with that, and not going to be surprised when it's a surprise winner, maybe, that maybe we haven't seen all day up in the mix, but got very aggressive at the end.
Chandler Smith started at the back of the field in the spring at Martinsville, wound up finishing 3rd. Right now, he's with Dave Burns.
Well, at the end of the day, Chandler Smith led laps, but finishes the day 13th. How would you describe today?
Just wasn't meant to be, honestly. Missed it on balance. Driver made an error on the green flag stop, drove it off the jack. Just wasn't meant to be today, and that's okay. Look forward to going to Martinsville, and we're probably going to be in a must-win situation there. We ran really good there in the spring, and for somebody that don't have a job next year in the industry, I'm probably going to go be working for my dad in the construction side just because of how things unfortunately are playing out. I feel like I don't owe anybody anything going to Martinsville, so just got through tell Jeff Mendering, my crew chief Jeff Mendering, make sure the front bumper on that thing's reinforced for Martinsville.
How much is this weighing on you? No job next year yet.
At the end of the day, I know the good Lord's got a plan for me. If that's racing for 20 more years now and making it on Sundays or making a full-time job out of racing on Saturdays, then I'm for it. But if it's my time to go and do something else and he's got plans for me elsewhere, I'm completely fine with that. So we'll see how everything pans out. I'm not really stressing about it and letting it weigh on me. It just is what it is, and just looking forward to seeing what's in store next.
2 races to go. Chandler Smith still could be champion in 24.
Jesse Love comes home in the 4th position. A great race for a track you've never been at. I know you spent a lot of time preparing, running the high line, but it seemed like the low line was what worked. What were you fighting out there?
Yeah, I want to give all the glory to God and thank him for putting people like the guys at RCR in my life. I don't know if I would have thought we were going to run this good going in the playoffs after our summer months, and we've been really good, and obviously I've run really well, and somehow we're still losing points to the cut line. So it just shows you how good you have to be to make the championship 4 and how much of an honor it is. And I still have a chance next week to go there and win the race and lock myself in. So that's all I'm going to focus on this next week is making sure I get to Phoenix. So I feel like if I can get there, that we have a shot to win. And today, I don't know, I feel like I let my team down a little bit. Wish I would have worked the bottom a little bit sooner on in the day and not been so married to the top. But I probably prepped 2,000 laps coming here using a simulator, and I think I ran all 2,000 of them on the top. So it was a learning lesson for me. And yeah, we're going to come back next year and have a little bigger of a notebook. But really proud of the RCR guys, happy for ECR, and everybody on the 21 team. The 2 and the 21 have worked so hard these last few weeks, and we've been motivating each other. And Austin's been a really good teammate to me this whole year, helping me out and helping me get better. And I feel like there's been 1 or 2 things that I've been able to help him out with, but the vast majority, he's been able to make me better. So I'm glad. I'm happy for him, happy for Mark and Timmy and Andy Street and all the guys over there. So looking forward to going to Martinsville. We got 2 guys from Welcome locked into the playoffs, and if we can make it 3, that would be just so badass. So we're looking to do that next week.
Jesse Love leaves Homestead -35 from the cut line.
DJ, we just missed the champagne bath here in Victory Lane. Thank goodness we dodged it as A.J. Allmendinger and Austin Hill chat after that champagne spray. So, hey, I want to ask you about this. Is everyone, in your opinion, DJ, below the cut line in a must-win scenario at Martinsville?
In my opinion, 99.9% sure that you're going to have to win if you're below it. From Chandler Smith down, those guys are going to have to think nothing but winning the race. I think, yeah, somebody's going to get in on points, but I think that battle is between Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer because they have the most and they have the most experience racing at that racetrack too. So I think they gather stage points and then put themselves in a win there. So everybody else has to be thinking whatever we have to do to put ourselves in a position to be inside that top 5 on our last run.
So because there's that level of desperation from those drivers that feel like, hey, we have to win. It's our only shot to have a title shot at Phoenix. What kind of racing can that create next Saturday night?
It's going to put NASCAR in some tough positions, I think, deciding. Yeah, and I mean that seriously, that they're going to have to decide, how much is too much with somebody doing something.
Good
because
point.
we are talking about, you just heard Jesse Love talk about how difficult it is to make this championship 4. He's run well, but here he sits way below the cut line, and he's going to have to go win a race. So it's difficult, and I think the pushing and shoving and maybe a little bit more. But I'm not sure how much more it can get than last year. And, there were no penalties from any of that.
So the round of 8 is now 3 races old. If you look at the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, DJ, there honestly have been 3 different surprise winners. Could there be a surprise winner tomorrow in the Cup Series coming up on NBC Sports?
I'm not counting on that, but like I said, I didn't expect this race to be won from the middle of the racetrack down today either. But I really believe this is the guys that have qualified right up front with Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, and Christopher Bell. I think you're going to have to go through them if you plan on winning this race.
What a fun day it was in Miami. We finally got Kim back from the beach. That was good. We got her to,
Yes.
we got her to pit road. But
that was difficult.
It was difficult, yeah. Austin Hill with an impressive run all day long. Grabbed the lead very early, led 82 laps, was really dominant today. Not running the wall like you normally do here at Miami. He gets to victory lane, and he's in the championship 4. We'll see you next week from Martinsville right here on the CW.
So if you wanna go up to the top, you may only get one shot. And if there's no shot at the top, always give everything you've got.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted,